Chapter 1850. Sai, Long Yen is dead. The Flood Dragon was a 6-star demon ancestor. When Long Yen and the Black Phoenix demon ancestor were fighting fiercely, he had been releasing his powerful soul force to observe the battle. When he felt Long Yan's self-destruction, he still revealed a trace of regret. If Long Yen had not chosen to betray him, he would have had a chance to kill the Black Phoenix demon ancestor and the others. But unfortunately, Long Yen was blinded by ambition and benefits and died in the hands of the Black Phoenix demon ancestor. Demon ancestor, the ones who offended you are Long Yen and his son. Now that they have all died in your hands, please be magnanimous and don't kill any more members of my dragon clan. The Flood Dragon was afraid that the Black Phoenix demon ancestor would kill the innocent and immediately rushed to Long Yan's residence. Flood Dragon, you want to stop me? Although they had killed Long Yen and the others, the demon clan had also suffered heavy casualties. Long Yen had just self-destructed and killed another demon ancestor. 3 demon ancestors had died in an instant. The Black Phoenix demon ancestor was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. He only wanted to kill to vent his anger. Demon ancestor, you have already killed many people. Stop. The Flood Dragon ignored the Black Phoenix demon ancestor's angry eyes and said unyieldingly, Flood Dragon, you have to remember that I have placed an imprint on your soul. If I want to kill you, I only need a thought. The Black Phoenix demon ancestor warned angrily. Of course I remember, but I can't watch my clansmen be killed by you for no reason. The Flood Dragon said fearlessly, If you want to kill my clansmen, you have to step over my dead body. The Black Phoenix demon ancestor was so angry that his body trembled. The killing intent on his body became stronger and stronger. However, when he thought of the Flood Dragon's value and the plans of the Demon Clan and the Sky Clan, he did not dare to kill the Flood Dragon at this moment, because he knew that Long Yen had just been killed. If he killed the Flood Dragon, the Heavenly Dragon Clan would most likely lose control and he could not bear the consequences. Fine. I will give you face this time. But if your Heavenly Dragon Clan members dare to provoke me again, then don't blame me for starting a massacre. In the end, reason prevailed over anger. The Black Phoenix demon ancestor gave a cold warning and left with the Demon Clan experts who had suffered heavy casualties. Young Master Yi, what should we do next? After returning to Sky Dragon Manor, Long Kuan immediately found Yi Chunfeng to ask about the next step of the plan. Uncle Dragon, try to contact the Dragon Emperor. Think of a way to gain his trust and ask about the whereabouts of the Dragon God. Yi Chunfeng pondered for a moment and said, All right. Long Kuan nodded. He took out his communication array and tried to contact the Dragon Emperor. However, the surroundings of the Golden Dragon City were sealed by the Celestial Race and the Monster Race's powerful seals, cutting off all communication. No matter what method the Kuan Dragon used, he couldn't contact the Dragon Emperor. Uncle Dragon, as far as you know, other than the Dragon Emperor, who else could possibly know the whereabouts of the Dragon God? Unable to contact Dragon Emperor, Yi Chunfeng fell into contemplation and asked after pondering for a while. There are rumors that when Supreme Emperor Heaven fought with Dragon God, a peak heaven ancestor of the Celestial Race, Ancestor Phaeton, attacked Ancestor Dragon God together. This person should know the exact location of Ancestor Dragon God. Long Kuan took a deep breath and said, However, it is almost impossible to obtain the whereabouts of the Dragon God Ancestor from this person. Ancestor Phaeton. Yi Chunfeng's eyes lit up. Uncle Dragon, can you use all your means to find out where Ancestor Phaeton is? If you can find him, I have a way to make him tell me where Dragon God is. Really? Long Kuan's eyes lit up. Leave this to me. It shouldn't be hard to find Ancestor Phaeton. While Long Kuan was secretly searching for Ancestor Phaeton, the monster race, which had suffered heavy casualties, didn't cause any more trouble. When Black Phoenix Ancestor reported what happened in Sky Dragon City to Golden Rock Ancestor, he was scolded by Golden Rock Ancestor, which made him even more furious. Soon, more than 2 months had passed. During these 2 months, Long Kun found out that Ancestor Faton was hiding in the Black Dragon race. In order to control Ancestor Faton, Yi Chenfeng, who didn't have the Soul Devourer's brain anymore, took back the Soul Devourer's brain that had entered the Blood Skull, Black Rock Emperor Jin Qing, and the Dragon Blood Lion's soul seas. Although they had regained their freedom, the Blood Skull Emperor and the Black Rock Emperor revealed desolate expressions. This was because they knew that Yi Chenfeng had already given up on them. From now on, they no longer had the qualifications to follow Yi Chenfeng. Uncle Dragon, let's go to the Black Dragon race and find a way to control Ancestor Faton. Be careful, we will meet in Golden Dragon City. Time was tight, so Yi Chenfeng bid farewell to Long Kun and the others. He controlled the Universe Mirror and left Sky Dragon City, heading towards Black Dragon City. Not long after Yi Chenfeng left Sky Dragon City, Black Phoenix Ancestor, who hadn't shown himself, came to Sky Dragon Palace. He found Long Kun and told him that the Silver Dragon race was being controlled. Golden Rock Ancestor ordered the other races to take action and go to Golden Dragon City to force Long Kun to abdicate. Sai, let's go. After knowing that the Silver Dragon race was being controlled, Long Kun sighed softly and didn't say much. He gathered dozens of Heavenly Dragon race experts and followed Black Phoenix Ancestor to the core of the dragon race, Golden Dragon City. Although the Dragon Flood Dragon knew that the dragon race would be in for a bloodbath on this trip, he no longer had a path of retreat. He could only place his hopes on Yi Chenfeng, hoping that he could successfully rescue the Dragon God, heal the Dragon God's injuries, stabilize the dragon race's situation, and chase away the invaders. Dragon Emperor, according to the information brought back by our spies in the various clans of my Dragon Clan have all been controlled by the Tian Clan and the people of the Demon Clan. Right now, they are rushing towards my Golden Dragon Clan, preparing to force you to hand over the position of Dragon Emperor. The great elder of the dragon race, Long Yi, who was a 6-star ancestor, came to the Dragon Palace and told him the latest news of the dragon race. Force! The Dragon Emperor, the Lord of the Dragon Clan, who was wearing a golden dragon robe with 9 dragons and a golden dragon crown on his head, sat on a golden dragon throne and exuded a powerful dragon aura. He said in a deep voice, "Their real purpose is not to force the abdication. They know that even if the patriarchs of the various clans work together to force me to abdicate, for the sake of the fate of my dragon race, I will not hand over the position of Dragon Emperor, nor will I hand over the treasure of my dragon race and leave the ancestral land." Then why are they doing this? Long Yi said with a frown. If I'm not wrong, their real goal of controlling the various clans to force me to abdicate is to restrain my dragon race's ancestral bloodline. The Dragon Emperor said, "If the heavenly race and the monster race make a move, I can borrow the power of the ancestral land and the treasure of my dragon race to destroy them without any scruples. However, if the patriarchs of my dragon race make a move, it will be different. After all, facing them, I will have some misgivings. If I kill the patriarchs, even if I can stabilize the situation for a short period of time, the future of my dragon race will be destroyed. Then what should we do? Do we still have a chance to turn the situation around?" Long Yi said worriedly. The Dragon Emperor took a deep breath and said, "If we want to turn the situation around, only the ancestor of the Dragon God can make a move. But the whereabouts of the ancestor of the Dragon God are unknown. There are rumors that he and Supreme Emperor Heaven have both suffered heavy losses. It's impossible for him to stand out at the crucial moment to turn the situation around," Long Yi said nervously. "I already know the ancestor's whereabouts," said the Dragon Emperor. "Where is he?" Long Yi's eyes lit up as he looked at the Dragon Emperor. The ancestor of the dragon god was trapped in the dragon tomb by Supreme Emperor Heaven using a divine stone from outer space. The Dragon Emperor revealed an important piece of information to the Great Elder Long E. Since we know the whereabouts of the ancestor of the dragon god, let's quickly go and rescue him, Long E said anxiously. The dragon god was the cornerstone and spiritual symbol of the dragon race. With him around, the situation could be stabilized. Sigh, after knowing the whereabouts of the ancestor of the dragon god, I immediately brought my dragon race's treasure, the ancestral dragon sword, to rescue him. However, the divine stone from outer space that Supreme Emperor Heaven used to seal the entrance of the dragon tomb is too sturdy. The surface of the divine stone is also sealed by Supreme Emperor Heaven. With my strength, I can't break the divine stone. The Dragon Emperor sighed softly. Then what should we do? If we can't rescue the ancestor of the dragon god, my dragon race will be in danger, Long E said worriedly. Chapter 1851. Yes, the silver dragon race has fallen. Now, the monster race and the heaven race have gathered all the races and are heading to the golden dragon city. Yi Chunfeng summoned the undying wings and flew toward the black dragon city at an extremely fast speed. Then, he received a secret message from the dragon race. After knowing that the black dragon race had left the black dragon city, Yi Chunfeng immediately changed his direction and headed toward the dragon race. The dragon race had told him that the black dragon race had to pass through the Dragon Teeth Mountain. He was going to stop Fatan Zhu there and suppress him. Dragon Teeth Mountain was an endless mountain range at the edge of the black dragon race's territory. There were many peaks in the mountain range that pierced through the clouds. Ancestral beasts roamed the mountain range, and it was very dangerous. It was connected to the golden dragon race's territory. Suddenly, a gigantic battleship appeared above the Dragon Teeth Mountain. A terrifying aura swept through the area, scaring the beasts hiding in the depths of the Dragon Teeth Mountain. Fatan Zhu, do you know if the Grand Emperor Tribe Leader will take action? If the Grand Emperor Tribe Leader doesn't take action, the Dragon Emperor will be invincible with the dragon race's ancestral land and clan guarding treasure. The Black Dragon Patriarch, who was dressed in a black robe and had a strong body like a mountain, gave off an unshakable feeling, said with a worried expression. Don't worry, the Grand Emperor Tribe Leader is fully prepared. There won't be any problems, said a red-faced man sitting opposite the Black Dragon Race leader arrogantly. In his arms was a seductive woman wearing a thin skirt. Her snow-white skin and slender legs were exposed. She had light makeup on her face. This person was the peak sky ancestor of the sky race. This time, the sky race had invaded the dragon race. His position was only lower than the Grand Emperor Heaven's clone, Fatan Zhu. That's good. After receiving Fatan Zhu's promise, the Black Dragon Race leader's worries disappeared. Looking at Fatan Zhu's hand moving up and down the seductive woman's clothes, the Black Dragon Race leader smiled and said, All right, I won't disturb you any longer. Rumble. While the leader of the Black Dragon tribe was about to leave, the battleship was suddenly attacked. A terrifying force broke the restrictions on the battleship and shook the entire battleship. It alerted the leader of the Black Dragon tribe, Ancestor Fatan, and the others. Who are you? How dare you attack my Black Dragon Race's warship at this time? The sudden attack enraged the Black Dragon Patriarch. He quickly led the Black Dragon clan away from the Black Dragon warship and hovered above the Dragon Teeth Mountain, looking for suspicious people. Ka. When Black Dragon tribe leader and the others flew out of the Black Dragon battleship to find the enemy, Fatan Ancestor's cabin suddenly shattered. A sharp sword light tore through space and stabbed at Fatan Ancestor. The beautiful woman in his arms was so scared that she screamed in fear. You are courting death. Fatan Ancestor didn't expect that someone would dare to ambush him. He was enraged and launched a palm strike at the incoming sword light. The terrifying palm strike fused with the power of heaven from all directions and shattered the sword light. Whoosh! Whoosh! The sword light shattered and 3 more light pearls filled with destructive energy appeared in the sky. They shot towards Phaeton Ancestor and collided with his palm light. Boom! The 3 pearls shattered at the same time. The terrifying power instantly collapsed the entire cabin and swept towards Phaeton Ancestor. However, Phaeton Ancestor was a peak sky ancestor. He was wearing an ancestral artifact battle armor and easily blocked the 3 pearls. 9 dragons, 1 punch. When the enraged Phaeton Ancestor tore apart the destructive storm, 9 dragons appeared from the collapsed cabin. They roared and attacked Phaeton Ancestor. They bombarded his armor and forced him to take a step back. Even though Phaeton Ancestor was forced back, the 9 dragons couldn't injure him. They were blocked by his ancestral artifact armor. Long Xiaotian, who had failed in his ambush, returned to the universe mirror. Next, Yi Chunfeng controlled the universe mirror to travel through space and escape at an extremely fast speed. Where do you think you are going? Phaeton Ancestor was extremely terrifying. He easily locked onto the universe mirror. He roared and chased after it at full speed. He wanted to stop it and kill the person who dared to ambush him. Phaeton Ancestor, don't chase a cornered enemy. Let's go to Golden Dragon City first. The Black Dragon tribe leader sensed that something was amiss when he was suddenly attacked. He shouted at Phaeton Ancestor, who was filled with killing intent. You guys go first. I will kill them in a while and meet up with you. Phaeton Ancestor said arrogantly. He didn't put Long Xiaotian, who had ambushed him, in his eyes. In his opinion, with his peak 6-star sky ancestor strength, killing Long Xiaotian was as easy as blowing off dust. Even if there was a dangerous situation, he would be able to solve it with his strength. Boom, boom, boom. Although the universe mirror was fast, it was far slower than Phaeton Ancestor. Soon, it was within Phaeton Ancestor's attack range. It had to endure the powerful attacks from Phaeton Ancestor, who summoned the power of the heavens. After suffering from Phaeton Ancestor's continuous attacks, the universe mirror's defense was greatly pressured. However, the universe mirror's level was very high and it was able to withstand Phaeton Ancestor's attacks for a short period of time. It continued to travel through space and escaped into the depths of Dragon Teeth mountain range. Why is this spatial treasure so similar to the universe mirror? Phaeton Ancestor's sharp eyes locked onto the violently trembling universe mirror. He vaguely felt that the universe mirror was somewhat familiar. It was very similar to Universe Sky Ancestor's universe mirror. With this discovery, Phaeton Ancestor became even more determined to kill his enemy and seize the universe mirror. He continued to increase his speed and closed the distance between him and the universe mirror. He summoned a high-grade ancestral weapon Long Spear and pierced through space to attack the universe mirror. Whoosh! Under the attack of the high-grade ancestral weapon Long Spear, the universe mirror's defense was immediately shattered. The terrifying attack pierced through the universe mirror and tore apart the outer layer of the universe mirror. 3 ancestral flags seal. The outer layer of the universe mirror shattered and Yi Chunfeng immediately appeared in the outside world. He summoned the 3 ancestral flags and formed layers of runes that sealed the entire space and sealed off Phaeton Ancestor's escape. 1-star Dao Ancestor. Human? Sensing Yi Chunfeng's strength, Phaeton Ancestor revealed a surprised expression. He was surprised that a human had managed to sneak into the dragon world. He didn't care about the space sealed by the 3 ancestral flags. In his eyes, he could kill Yi Chunfeng with a wave of his hand. A mere sealed space posed no threat to him. I didn't think that there would be a human in the dragon world. However, you really shouldn't have provoked me. Phaeton Ancestor said coldly. Phaeton Ancestor, do you really think that you are invincible? After controlling the 3 ancestral flags to seal the entire space, Yi Chunfeng looked at Fation Ancestor, who had an extremely high status in the Imperial Sky Clan, and spoke fearlessly. What? An ant like you wants to injure me? Fation Ancestor looked at Yi Chunfeng with disdain. I really can't injure you, but someone else can. As he spoke, Yi Chunfeng summoned the Peak Evil Ancestor, whose mind had been completely corroded by Soul Devourer's brain not long ago, and who had submitted to him. Peak Evil Ancestor. Feeling the powerful evil aura from the evil ancestor at the peak of the evil ancestor's body, Fation Ancestor's expression changed. Who are you? How did you subdue the evil ancestor at the peak of the evil ancestor? Do you want to know? As long as you submit to me, I will tell you. Yi Chunfeng smiled and said. If you don't want to talk, then die. Fation Ancestor suddenly felt uneasy. He didn't waste any more words with Yi Chunfeng. He held a high-quality ancestral artifact spear and attacked Yi Chunfeng with a powerful ancestral aura. Die. The evil ancestor at the peak of the evil ancestor suddenly opened his eyes. He held a top-quality ancestral artifact, the Death Scythe, and charged towards Fation Ancestor. Chapter 1852. This is a supreme quality ancestral artifact. Feeling the powerful ancestral aura enter his arm through the spear, Fation Ancestor's expression changed drastically. He was extremely shocked. At this moment, he was sure that he had fallen into a trap. However, he was confident in his strength, and all schemes were useless against him. He could destroy them with a single stomp. Long Xiaotian, come out and help me. In order to end the battle quickly, Yi Chunfeng summoned Long Xiaotian and gave him the Dragon Head Ancestral Artifact, the Dragon Head Ancestral Bow, so that he could shoot and kill Fation Ancestor from the outside. Ancestral Dragon Pearl Fuse. After receiving the Dragon Head Ancestral Bow, Long Xiaotian immediately merged with the Ancestral Dragon Pearl and instantly increased his strength to the 5-star Demon Progenitor realm. He quickly pulled the Dragon Head Ancestral Bow and shot out powerful ancestral arrows at Fation Progenitor's body. Although Fation Ancestor was wearing a low-quality ancestral armor, the Dragon Head Ancestral Bow was a middle-quality ancestral artifact. Since Long Xiaotian was a 5-star Demonic Ancestor realm, he could unleash the full power of the Dragon Head Ancestral Bow. After being continuously attacked by the Dragon Head Ancestral Bow, Fation Ancestor's energy was greatly depleted and his attacks were suppressed by the Peak Evil Ancestor. Divine Demon Mighty Body. Being attacked from the front and back, Fation Ancestor immediately used the Heavenly Tribe's secret super skill and turned into the powerful Divine Demon Mighty Body. His muscular body doubled in size and his offense and defense were greatly increased. Die. Relying on the Divine Demon Mighty Body to block the Death Scythe from the Peak Evil Ancestor, Fation Ancestor instantly turned into an afterimage in the sky and attacked Long Xiaotian at a speed that was hard to be seen by the naked eye. He wanted to kill Long Xiaotian first. Long Xiaotian, come back. At this critical moment, Yi Chunfeng, who was hiding in the formation, sent Long Xiaotian into the universe mirror. Fation Ancestor's furious attack missed and a bottomless black hole appeared in the chaotic void space. After his attack failed, Fation Ancestor immediately sensed danger behind him. He quickly turned around and pushed his Tao will to the extreme. He thrust out a spear shadow that was like a silver river that pierced through the void space and stabbed towards the Peak Evil Ancestor. Slash! Evil Ancestor, who was at the peak of his evil presence, held the scythe tightly and created a half-moon shadow. He slashed apart Fation Ancestor's spear shadow and broke the latter's attack. However, Fation Ancestor had used the moment when the spear shadow was blocking the attack to dodge the remaining power of the deadly blade shadow. Evil Prison. His attack was dodged by Phaeton Ancestor. The peak evil ancestor let out a ferocious roar. A large amount of evil chi gushed out of his body and rushed towards Phaeton Ancestor. It instantly sealed the space around him and formed an evil prison around him. Then, the peak evil ancestor continued to attack. He waved his scythe and attacked Phaeton Ancestor continuously, forcing him to use his high-grade ancestral spear to block the attacks. Boom, boom, boom. Earth-shattering collisions continued to ring out in the void. It was as if a divine bell had appeared in the entire space, shaking the heavens and earth. The two ancestral weapons clashed for dozens of times. Phaeton Zu couldn't withstand the ferocious attacks from the scythe. His arms were filled with cracks from the terrifying ancestral power. However, Phaeton Zu was also powerful. He relied on the godly demon tyrant body to block the peak evil ancestor's attacks and wasn't at a disadvantage. Heavenly Lock Bind. While the two of them were using all their skills to fight, Phaeton Zu suddenly opened his mouth and spat out a white chain that was shining with starlight. It flew towards the peak evil ancestor. Xian Tian Divine Scripture, Heavenly Punishment. The peak evil ancestor couldn't dodge in time and was bound by the heavenly lock. Phaeton Zu used a secret technique of the heavenly clan and unleashed an attack that was like a heavenly punishment. It was very close to the peak evil ancestor. Boom! Half of the peak evil ancestor's body exploded. However, before Phaeton Zu could be happy, the peak evil ancestor immediately used his immortal divine technique to repair his broken body. He broke the heavenly lock that was binding him and continued to attack Phaeton Zu. Damn it, how did he control the peak evil ancestor? After experiencing the terror of the peak evil ancestor's immortal divine technique, Phaeton Zu felt that it was a bit troublesome. He wanted to retreat. At this moment, the peak evil ancestor, who only knew how to kill once again, released a large amount of black evil chi. They were like dancing black dragons that sealed the entire space and attacked Phaeton Zu. While Phaeton Zu was using the ancestral armor to defend against the terrifying evil chi, the peak evil ancestor flew into the sky and unleashed an unstoppable palm. Evil God Hand. The palm landed and the sun and moon flipped. A pitch-black hand descended from the sky. There were Tao inscriptions flowing in the palm. The entire hand seemed to be made of divine gold and was indestructible. PFFF. After receiving the evil God Hand from the peak evil ancestor, Phaeton Zu trembled and spat out a mouthful of blood. In the next moment, the peak evil ancestor spat out a mouthful of essence blood into the death god scythe to activate its attacking power. He threw it out with all his might and slashed at Phaeton Zu. In an instant, the sky and earth shook and the void cracked. A terrifying power crushed the entire space and destroyed Phaeton Zu's body through the low-grade ancestral armor. Tao of Weapon Controlling, Life and Death Plate. At this moment, Yi Chunfeng appeared and used the Tao of Weapon Controlling. He activated the strongest power of the Life and Death Plate and attacked Phaeton Zu's back, who had lost control of his body and was retreating. Crack, crack, crack. The low-grade ancestral armor instantly shattered after being hit by the strongest attack from the Life and Death Plate. The terrifying power of life and death rushed into Phaeton Ancestor's body, destroying his body and life force. He coughed out blood again. Invincible Heavenly Imperial Technique. Even though he was heavily injured and in danger, Phaeton Zu didn't panic. He quickly used the invincible Heavenly Imperial Technique of the Heavenly Imperial Clan to heal his injuries and increase his strength. The top almighty of the Heavenly Imperial Clan is indeed difficult to deal with. Yi Chunfeng frowned when he sensed that Phaeton Zu's injuries were healed by the invincible heavenly art. With this terrifying technique, Phaeton Zu was like the evil ancestor at the peak of the evil ancestor's level. He had an immortal body, and it was almost impossible to injure him. Senior Shin Su, Senior Hingu, which one of you can help me suppress a peak Heavenly Imperial Clan member? Yi Chenfeng felt that the peak evil ancestor couldn't suppress Fa Tian Zhu, who used the invincible Heavenly Imperial technique. He had to ask the two peak godly ancestors of the God Clan for help. Give me one incense stick of time. I will help you deal with him. At this moment, Shen Hingu, who was sitting cross-legged under a spiritual tree, had recovered part of his strength using the origin spiritual bead and had turned into an outstanding young man, replied. Thank you, Senior. Although Shen Hingu hadn't recovered from his injuries and couldn't use his peak strength, he was still the leader of the 6 great ancestors of the God Clan. With his help, no matter how powerful Fa Tian Zhu was, it would be useless. Primal Chaos Divine Wood, seal the space. In order to suppress Fa Tian Zhu further and not give him a chance to break out, Yi Chenfeng summoned the Primal Chaos Divine Wood. He controlled the Primal Chaos Divine Wood to drop down tens of thousands of 5-colored roots to seal the entire space. Primal Chaos Divine Wood, you are the brat from the heavenly region. Yi Chenfeng had revealed the Primal Chaos Divine Wood at the 100 battle competition, and the Heavenly Imperial Clan had heard about it. Thus, when he saw Yi Chenfeng summon the Primal Chaos Divine Wood, Fa Tian Zhu immediately recognized him. That's right, it's me. With that, Yi Chenfeng controlled the Primal Chaos Divine Wood to sway and create a large amount of Primal Chaos 5 elements light to attack Fa Tian Zhu. He wanted to suppress Fa Tian Zhu's attack and stall for time. Chapter 1853. Supreme Emperor Heavenly Tao, break for me. After knowing Yi Chenfeng's identity, Fa Tian Ancestor became even more uneasy. He decisively gave up on the thought of killing Yi Chenfeng and the peak evil ancestor. He used the Heavenly Imperial Clan's supreme techniques to break through the Primal Chaos Divine Wood and the 3 ancestral flags' defenses and leave. However, the Primal Chaos Divine Wood was as powerful as a supreme ancestral treasure. Under its restriction, Fa Tian Ancestor's attacks became weaker and weaker. He couldn't break through the restrictions of the 3 ancestral flags. At this moment, the peak evil ancestor with the undying body rushed over again. He held the death scythe in his hand and continued to fight against Fa Tian Ancestor, not giving him a chance to escape. Supreme Emperor Heavenly Tao, myriad annihilation, Fa Tian Ancestor shouted. The Tao intent in his body was pushed to the extreme as he unleashed an attack that could destroy all laws. It landed on the peak evil ancestor's body, and the terrifying power shattered his body once again. However, the moment the peak evil progenitor's body broke, he threw out the death scythe, a top-quality ancestral artifact. It fiercely slashed evil progenitor's body and broke his armor. Evil progenitor was almost cut in half. Both sides were injured. The broken bodies of the peak evil ancestor and Fa Tian Ancestor instantly recovered, and they fought again. While the two were fighting, Yi Chenfeng controlled the Primal Chaos Divine Wood to continue swaying. It created powerful Primal Chaos 5 elemental lights that continuously attacked Fa Tian Ancestor and delayed his attacks to waste time. Slowly, 1 incense stick's worth of time passed. At this moment, a power that made Fa Tian Ancestor feel fear was released from the universe mirror. Shen Yengu, who was wearing a white robe that fluttered in the wind, appeared with the divine void sword in his hand. Shen Yengu, you're Shen Yengu. You didn't die. Seeing Shen Yengu's handsome face, Fa Tian Ancestor's eyes widened as if he had seen a ghost. He shouted in fear. Fa Tian, I didn't think that we would meet again one day. Shen Hingu Su stood in the air and looked at Fa Tian Ancestor, whose eyes were wide open, and said, I didn't think that after so many years, you, the loser, would also reach the peak of the ancestor realm. Shen Hingu, you are really lucky to still be alive in this world. However, this world belongs to the ethereal gods, and the leader of the Imperial Clan is in the Dragon World. If I die, the leader of the Imperial Clan will know immediately. Then, even if you have 3 heads and 6 arms, you won't be able to escape from the leader of the Imperial clan. Tion ancestor pretended to be calm as he warned them. Sigh, so many years have passed, yet you're still so childish. Do you think you can make us back down by saying those words? Shen Yengu shook his head and took a step forward. He teleported in front of Tion ancestor and attacked him with the divine void sword. Tion ancestor was already in a dangerous situation. Now that he was being attacked by Shen Henggu, his attacks were completely suppressed and he could only defend himself. However, relying on the invincible heavenly art, he healed his heavily injured body time and time again. He attacked the space restricted by the Chaos Divine Wood and the 3 ancestral flags, searching for a chance to escape. Chi! There was the sound of space being torn apart. Shen Henggu's sword slashed open the space and hit Tion ancestor's body. The terrifying sword light cut him in half. When Tion ancestor tried to heal his body, he was cut in half by the evil ancestor's death scythe. Using the invincible heavenly art, Tion ancestor could heal his body again and again. However, each time he healed his body, he would consume a lot of energy. When he used up all his energy and couldn't use the invincible heavenly art anymore, he would die. Xian Tian Scripture, Heavenly Punishment Break. After consuming so much energy, Tion ancestor smelled the thick scent of death. He gave up on attacking Shen Henggu and the evil ancestor at the peak and attacked the space restricted by the Chaos Divine Wood and the 3 ancestral flags. Tion, you still want to escape? Shen Henggu sneered. A terrifying spatial energy gushed out of his body and formed a terrifying black hole. It directly swallowed Tion ancestor's heaven's punishment. 8th level of spatial laws, spatial black hole. Seeing Shen Henggu's black hole, Yi Chenfeng's eyes lit up. He didn't expect Shen Henggu to have such a deep understanding of spatial laws. He wanted to learn from him. Myriad heavenly walls. The heavenly punishment was easily broken by Shen Henggu. Tion ancestor crazily burned his powerful bloodline power and controlled the powerful spatial walls to form the myriad heavenly walls. They were like majestic divine mountains that suppressed Shen Henggu and the evil ancestor at the peak. Spatial destruction. Shen Henggu didn't dodge when the myriad heavenly walls pressed down. Instead, he shot into the sky like an arrow. The space that he flew through was constantly destroyed. The myriad heavenly walls that suppressed him were also shattered. In the blink of an eye, Shen Henggu used the 9th level of the law of space to destroy space and break through the 10,000 layers of celestial walls. His divine void sword ray once again cut the exhausted Tion ancestor in half. It's about time. Sensing that Tion ancestor's injuries were very serious and that his recovery speed was greatly reduced, Yi Chenfeng immediately controlled the primal chaos divine wood to suppress Tion ancestor's injured body. He then took out a soul devourer's sea of soul to erode Tion ancestor's sea of soul. Ah, what is this? Tion ancestor, who was severely injured, immediately let out an earth-shattering roar. His terrifying voice shook the 9 firmament. He desperately controlled his soul power to attack the brain so that it wouldn't invade his sea of soul. Looks like one brain isn't enough to invade Tion ancestor's sea of soul. Although Tion ancestor was severely injured, he was still a peak ancestor. The brain Yi Chenfeng took out was a fragment of the soul devourer's brain, so it wasn't enough to control Tion ancestor. Yi Chenfeng had no choice but to take out the remaining 2 brains of the soul devourer and send them into the soul sea of Tion Zhu. Under the combined attack of the 3 brains, Tion ancestor's soul defense was instantly broken. The terrifying power of the soul devourer crazily invaded Tion ancestor's sea of soul, causing him to roar in despair. Senior Henggu, peak evil ancestor, quickly help me suppress him. Don't let him explode. Tion ancestor was extremely important. Once he exploded, all of Yi Chunfeng's efforts would be in vain. He immediately asked Shen Henggu and Peak Evil Ancestor to suppress Tion ancestor. Alright. Shen Henggu nodded and immediately released a powerful divine power into Tion ancestor's body to forcefully seal it. At this moment, Yi Chunfeng controlled the 5-colored roots of the primal chaos divine wood to break into Tion ancestor's body and further seal him, causing him to gradually lose control of his body. Alright, let's leave this place first. After successfully sealing Tion ancestor's body, Yi Chunfeng immediately sent Tion ancestor, Shen Henggu, and Peak Evil Ancestor into the universe mirror. He then took back the 3 ancestral flags and flew out of Dragon Teeth Mountain at an extremely fast speed. Chapter 1854. Tion Zhu, tell me, where is the dragon god? Yi Chunfeng came to the unconscious Tion ancestor and forced him to wake up. What happened? The dragon god is in the dragon's tomb, but the entrance is sealed by a divine stone left behind by the Imperial Sky tribe leader. Outsiders cannot enter. Tion Zhu slowly opened his eyes. When he saw Yi Chunfeng, his soul clearly struggled, but he couldn't resist the God-Eater brain's control. He obediently told Yi Chunfeng the whereabouts of the dragon god. Just as I guessed, Supreme Emperor Heaven's true body isn't in the dragon's world. Yi Chunfeng heaved a sigh of relief after hearing this news. Based on the current situation, as long as they could save the dragon god from the dragon's tomb and heal his injuries, the dragon tribe would definitely be able to survive this calamity. Tell me about Supreme Emperor Heaven's clone and your next plan, Yi Chunfeng ordered, not allowing any room for resistance. The Imperial Sky tribe leader's clone fought with the dragon god and was heavily injured. He can only attack with all his might for a day. Their next plan is to use the power of the dragon tribe to pressure the dragon emperor so that he won't dare to use the power of the ancestral land to kill. Tion Zhu told Yi Chunfeng everything he knew. Based on what you know, when is the date of your forced abdication? Yi Chunfeng continued to ask. 5 days later. Tion Zhu said. 5 days, time is a bit tight. Yi Chunfeng muttered to himself, Tion, you will follow me from now on. If you are loyal to me, I might give you a fortuitous encounter in the future and let you enter the empty god realm. Thank you, young Master Yi. Although Tion Zhu didn't believe Yi Chunfeng, he could only choose to submit at this moment. Tell me the location of the dragon's tomb. Yi Chunfeng asked. Yes. Tion Zhu told Yi Chunfeng the exact location of the dragon's tomb. After learning the location of the dragon tomb from Tion ancestor, Yi Chunfeng left the universe mirror and summoned the immortal wings to fly toward the dragon tomb at an extremely fast speed. The dragon tomb was the tomb of the most powerful race of the dragon clan, the first ancestor dragon. It was the holy land of the dragon clan. It was located at the source of a dragon vein in the depths of the Dragon Mountain. We've finally arrived at the Dragon Horde Mountain. After nearly a day of hurrying, Yi Chunfeng, who had raised his flying speed to the maximum, finally arrived at the Mount Myriad Dragons, a mountain range that stretched endlessly without end. So many restrictions. When Yi Chunfeng released his powerful soul force to cover the Myriad Dragon Mountains, he discovered that the mountains were covered with restrictions, many of which were extremely powerful, enough to pose a threat to ordinary ancestor realm masters. Swish! An ear-piercing sound rang out. Yi Chunfeng ignored the restrictions in the Mountain of Dragons and flew into the mountain at an extremely fast speed. He followed the route that Tion ancestor had told him and flew to the dragon tomb in the deepest part of the Mountain of Dragons. How dare you? Who are you? Why are you trespassing in the Dragon Horde Mountain? Yi Chunfeng summoned his ancestor realm sword soul and unleashed a powerful attack. When he broke through the restrictions in the Dragon Horde Mountain, he alerted the experts of the Golden Dragon tribe who were guarding the mountain. Many golden dragons flew into the depths of the Dragon Horde Mountain and blocked Yi Chunfeng's path. I'm sorry. Time was of the essence. Yi Chunfeng did not waste time talking to them. He quickly flapped the immortal wings and created a hurricane to attack the golden dragons. The Golden Dragon tribe was the most powerful tribe in the Dragon Clan, and they were extremely powerful. However, the golden dragons that blocked Yi Chunfeng's path had not reached the Ancestor Realm, and they were unable to pose a threat to Yi Chunfeng. Under the attack of the ancestral artifact Undying Wings, the gigantic golden dragons were heavily injured. Their several thousand-meter-long bodies smashed into the depths of the Dragon's Warm Mountain, crushing towering ancient trees and creating huge craters in the mountain. They all fell unconscious. Yi Chunfeng dealt with the several Golden Dragon tribe experts blocking his way like a gust of autumn wind sweeping away fallen leaves. He did not slow down, continuing to pass through one powerful restriction after another, slowly approaching the dragon's tomb. Rumble! When he approached the dragon tomb, the scenery in front of Yi Chunfeng suddenly changed. The vast mountains disappeared and a roaring sea of lightning appeared. It rolled through the void and attacked Yi Chunfeng. Life and Death Plate, break for me! Yi Chunfeng decisively summoned the Life and Death Plate to meet the attack of the sea of lightning formed by the powerful seals. Boom, boom, boom! A series of deafening explosions rang out. Under the attacks of the Life and Death Plate, which was constantly growing in size, the surging sea of lightning continued to shatter. The entire space was torn apart by the Life and Death Plate. Ancestor Sword Spirit, break! When the Life and Death Plate attacked with all its might, the god-devouring brain, which was rapidly deducing, locked onto the formation base of the restriction. At this moment, the Ancestor-level sword soul flew out, drawing a black sword shadow in the air as it constantly attacked the incomparably tough formation base, forcibly shattering the formation base that had been damaged in the early stages. It broke through this extremely powerful restriction that could threaten an ordinary Ancestor-level expert. The sea of lightning restrictions disappeared, and Yi Chunfeng continued to speed up. Relying on his absolute strength, he tore through another extremely powerful restriction and arrived at the deepest part of Dragon Mountain. He saw the dragon tomb sealed by a divine stone that was dozens of meters tall and gave off a five-colored light. It was a divine stone that flowed with powerful restrictions, and under the extraterrestrial divine stone, Yi Chunfeng saw a man wearing a golden dragon robe. He had an extraordinary bearing and held a dragon sword that exuded the power of destruction. Although Yi Chunfeng had never seen the Dragon Emperor before, when Yi Chunfeng saw the man in dragon robes holding the dragon sword, he immediately guessed his identity. He was the leader of the Dragon Clan, the Dragon Emperor who controlled the entire Dragon Realm. Yi Chunfeng discovered the Dragon Emperor, and the Dragon Emperor also discovered Yi Chunfeng. A suffocating dragon might erupted from his body and locked onto Yi Chunfeng. Dragon Emperor, don't misunderstand. I am here to save the Dragon God. Before the Dragon Emperor attacked, Yi Chunfeng immediately shouted at him. Do you think I will believe your nonsense? Looking at Yi Chunfeng's unfamiliar face, the Dragon Emperor's deep eyes emitted dense killing intent. He was about to use the Dragon Clan's most precious treasure, the Void God Artifact Ancestral Dragon Sword, to kill Yi Chunfeng. Dragon Emperor, you may not believe me, but you should believe Long Xiaotian. Sensing the terrifying aura emitted by the ancestral dragon sword, Yi Chunfeng inexplicably felt his heart tremble. He immediately summoned Long Xiaotian. Long Xiaotian, why are you here? The Dragon Emperor frowned when he saw Long Xiaotian, who had been missing for a long time. He did not attack Yi Chunfeng immediately. Xiaotian greets Your Majesty Dragon Emperor. Looking at the Dragon Clan's leader, Long Xiaotian kneeled on the ground and respectfully kowtowed 3 times to the Dragon Emperor. He then quickly explained the whole sequence of events. Can he really be trusted? The Dragon Clan was in a life and death crisis. It was difficult for the Dragon Emperor to trust the unfamiliar Yi Chunfeng. "Your Majesty Dragon Emperor, there is an old friend who wishes to meet you. Perhaps you will believe his words." After saying that, Yi Chunfeng summoned Shun Henggu from the universe mirror. "Brother Henggu, why are you here? Didn't you already?" Looking at the sudden appearance of Shun Henggu and sensing the familiar aura from him, the Dragon Emperor was stunned. His cold and arrogant face was filled with shock. "How can I bear to die before killing all those bastards from the Sky Clan?" Shun Henggu smiled faintly and said, "Xingfeng, young Master Yi is a trustworthy person. We are here to save the Dragon God." "But how do you know that the Dragon God's ancestor is trapped in the Dragon Tomb?" The Dragon Emperor knew about the hatred between the God Clan and the Sky Clan. When he saw Shun Henggu, the coldness in his eyes lessened as he asked. "Because we have Heaven Punisher under our control," Shun Henggu said. Chapter 1855. "Xingfeng, if you trust us, then hand the Dragon God over to us. We will think of a way to save him," Shun Henggu said. "Sigh, Brother Henggu, we have known each other for millions of years. Of course I trust you. However, the Dragon Tomb is sealed by this divine stone. I can't break it even with the ancestral dragon sword. Saving the Dragon God is as difficult as ascending to the heavens." Dragon Emperor sighed. "If we can't enter through the entrance, then we can try entering from other places," Yi Chunfeng said after pondering for a moment. "It's no use. The Dragon Tomb is in a different space. Other than the entrance, there is no other way to enter." Dragon Emperor shook his head. "How would we know if we don't try?" Yi Chunfeng smiled and summoned the Space Swallower. This Space Swallower. The Dragon Emperor's eyes lit up when he saw the space-swallowing bug that was more than half a meter long and had a mouthful of sharp teeth. The Space Swallower has the ability to swallow wormholes. I think it won't be difficult for it to swallow a passage into the Dragon Tomb," Yi Chunfeng said. All right, I'll leave it to you to save the Dragon God's ancestor. As long as you can save the Dragon God's ancestor and resolve our Dragon Clan's crisis, our Dragon Clan will definitely reward you generously." Seeing that Yi Chunfeng had the space-swallowing bug, the Dragon Emperor saw the light of hope of saving the Dragon God and promised in front of everyone, "Everything will have to wait until the crisis of the dragon race is resolved." Yi Chunfeng smiled and said, "In order to gain the trust of the Dragon God, I hope that Your Majesty Dragon Emperor can leave a soul message." "All right." Dragon Emperor nodded and took out a jade slip. He left a soul message and passed it to Yi Chunfeng. "Oh right, Your Majesty Dragon Emperor, according to Futian, the Supreme Emperor Heaven in the Dragon World is not him but his avatar. Back then, he and the Dragon God suffered heavy injuries. Now, he can only hold on for a day or so. Also, the heavenly race and the demon race will attack in 4 days. Your Majesty Dragon Emperor should prepare in advance." Yi Chunfeng revealed 2 important pieces of information to Dragon Emperor. "Many thanks." The Dragon Emperor's eyes lit up. The news that Yi Chunfeng told him was very important. "All right, Your Majesty Dragon Emperor, leave this place to us. You should quickly go back and preside over the situation," Yi Chunfeng urged. "All right, I'll leave everything to you." The Dragon Emperor put away the ancestral dragon sword and returned to Golden Dragon City through the teleportation formation hidden in the Myriad Dragon Mountain. "Space-swallowing bug, it's up to you now." After the Dragon Emperor left, Yi Chunfeng immediately controlled the God-Eater brain to deduce the location where the spatial restriction was relatively weak. He let the space swallowers quickly devour the space and forcefully opened a passage to the dragon's tomb. The space swallower had evolved into a mystic-level ancestor beast, and its swallowing ability had greatly increased. In just half a day, it had swallowed a space tunnel that was several thousand meters long and gradually approached the wall of the alternate space hidden in the Dragon Tomb. While the space-swallowing insects were trying their best to break through the tunnel, The Heavenly Clan and the Monster Clan were shocked by Fa Tianzu's strange disappearance. Tell me, before Fa Tianzu disappeared, who did he meet? A middle-aged man wearing a dark golden robe, a golden crown, an aquiline nose, and eyes that were like two black whirlpools that shot out endless fierce light asked in an extremely cold voice. This man in the dark golden robe was none other than the immortal demon ancestor's greatest enemy, the clan leader of the Bird Clan, Golden Rock Demon Ancestor. Demon Ancestor, when we were passing by Dragon Teeth Mountain, we were suddenly attacked. Fa Tianzu chased after the attacker, and we have not heard from him since then. The clan leader of the Black Dragon Clan endured the humiliation in his heart and reported the situation. Demon Ancestor, Fa Tianzu's sudden disappearance is not simple. There are less than 5 people in the entire Dragon Clan who can suppress Fa Tianzu without anyone noticing. The clan leader of the 6 Stars Heavenly Ancestor, who was wearing a purple robe and whose status was second only to Fa Tianzu, thought for a while and said with an ugly expression, "As long as the Supreme Emperor Heaven's clone did not appear, Fa Tianzu was the temporary leader of the Heavenly Clan. Before they could force the Dragon Emperor to abdicate, their leader had disappeared. This made the 2 clans feel that something was wrong. It should be the Dragon Emperor," the clan leader of the Black Dragon Clan said after thinking for a while. "Yes, the possibility of the Dragon Emperor taking action is higher. However, even if he suppresses Fa Tianzu, he can't change the fate of the Dragon Clan. The Dragon Clan will definitely die this time." Clan leader of the White Clan said coldly. "Continue to investigate Fa Tianzu's whereabouts. Inform me immediately if there is any news." Golden Rock Demon Ancestor ordered angrily. "Dragon Emperor, I have underestimated you. However, it is too late for you to take action now. The Dragon Clan has already fallen." Time flew by and soon another day had passed. Finally, the God-Eater Brain's relentless efforts created a tunnel that led to the Dragon Tomb. Whoosh! After the tunnel was opened, Yi Chunfeng immediately flew into the wormhole that was half the height of a person and entered the Dragon Tomb that was filled with dense death qi. Where will the Dragon God heal? According to Long Xiaotian, the Dragon Tomb was very big and it would take some time to find the Dragon God. Now, there were only 2.5 days left before the 2 clans would force the Dragon Clan to abdicate. Yi Chunfeng had to seize every second. Woo woo woo! Yi Chunfeng controlled the God-Eater Brain to quickly deduce and search for the Dragon God. The dragon souls in the Dragon Tomb sensed his unfamiliar aura and drilled out of the huge dragon caves. They opened their bloody mouths and launched ferocious soul attacks at him. God-Eater Brain, devour! After being attacked by a large number of dragon souls, Yi Chunfeng used all his strength to defend while summoning the God-Eater Brain. He controlled the brain to form a powerful devouring whirlpool that continuously devoured the approaching dragon souls and turned them into nutrients for the God-Eater Brain to accelerate its transformation. "How dare you? Who are you? How did you enter this place?" Just as Yi Chunfeng was controlling the God-Eater Brain to devour the dragon souls while searching for the Dragon God, a thunderous roar resounded in his ears. In the next moment, a white-haired old man wearing a gray robe appeared. He exuded a thick ancestral aura and held a huge walking stick with a dragon head. A living person! Yi Chunfeng was overjoyed when he sensed the powerful aura of life from the old man. He hurriedly said, "We were entrusted by His Majesty the Dragon Emperor to save Senior Dragon God." "Humph, do you think I will believe your nonsense? Those who are not of the dragon race will be killed without mercy when they step into the Dragon Tomb." The gray-robed old man snorted coldly. A powerful ancestral aura erupted from his burly body. He was about to attack and kill Yi Chunfeng, who trespassed into the Dragon Tomb. "Senior, I have His Majesty the Dragon Emperor's soul transmission here. Senior will know if I'm lying to you once you hear it." Yi Chunfeng took out the soul jade slip and threw it to the gray-robed elder. Were you really invited by Xingfeng to save the dragon god? The gray-robed old man frowned slightly when he heard the Dragon Emperor's voice transmission in the Soul Jade slip. Senior, apart from the Golden Dragon race, Winged Dragon race, and Heavenly Dragon race, the other races are controlled by the Sky race and the Monster race. Only Senior Dragon God can turn the tide and solve the Dragon race's crisis. Yi Chunfeng said anxiously. All right, since the Dragon Emperor trusts you, I will take you to see the Dragon God. Hearing the situation of the dragon race, the gray-robed old man hesitated for a moment, but still brought Yi Chunfeng to the place where the Dragon God was healing. He saw the Dragon God sitting cross-legged in an ancient dragon cave, absorbing the power of the ancestral dragon to heal his serious injuries. Chapter 1856. Dragon God. This human claims to be the person invited by the Dragon Emperor to save you. The gray-robed elder came to the Dragon God's side and said respectfully, "This is the Dragon Emperor's sole message that he brought. I didn't expect you to be able to enter the Dragon Tomb when the entrance is sealed by the Divine Stone. You're really something." The Dragon God opened his tightly shut eyes and looked at Yi Chunfeng, who had a calm expression and a clear gaze in his eyes. "Senior Dragon God, your injuries are very serious." Yi Chunfeng controlled the God-Eater brain to sense the Dragon God's physical condition and found that his injuries were very serious. "This injury is nothing." The Dragon God shook his head and said, "Let's go out. It's time to settle the score with those invaders." "Senior Dragon God, don't worry. I have a way to heal you by 70% in a short time." Although the Dragon God's injuries were serious, they were far from the divine Tao Void realm. The Life Origin Spirit Pearl could heal part of Shun Heng's injuries in a short time. "Really?" The Dragon God was stunned. The eyes of the three gray-robed elders shone with endless light as if thousands of stars were shining at the same time. "Okay." Yi Chunfeng nodded, took out an extremely precious Life Origin Spirit Pearl, and handed it to the Dragon God. "What a powerful life origin energy. I didn't expect you to have such a good item." Sensing the life origin energy contained in the Life Origin Spirit Pearl, the Dragon God's turbid eyes showed a hint of anticipation. "I'll remember this favor. I'll definitely repay it in the future." With that, the Dragon God swallowed the Life Origin Spirit bead into his stomach, and quickly refined it. "Senior, if you trust me, I'll take you to a place where the flow of time is 30 times faster than the outside world. Healing there can save a lot of time," Yi Chunfeng suggested. "Haha, let's go then." The Dragon God laughed and said casually. He followed Yi Chunfeng into the 5th level of the universe realm. Xiaotian greets the ancestor of the Dragon God. Seeing the Dragon God follow Yi Chunfeng into the 5th level of the universe realm, Long Xiaotian immediately went forward, knelt, and said respectfully, "Xiaotian." Long Xiaotian was a top genius of the Dragon Clan and was deeply loved by the Dragon God. His sudden disappearance made the Dragon God furious. Now that he saw him again, the Dragon God was very happy and helped him up. Xiaotian, what's in your body?" When the Dragon God touched Long Xiaotian's arm, he unexpectedly felt a familiar aura in his body and showed a look of surprise. Is this what the ancestor was talking about? With that said, Long Xiaotian took out the ancestral dragon pearl that Yi Chunfeng gave him. Ancestral dragon pearl, it's really the ancestral dragon pearl. "Xiaotian, where did you find this treasure?" Dragon God asked excitedly after receiving the ancestral dragon pearl. "This ancestral dragon pearl was given to me by young Master Yi," Long Xiaotian said. "Senior, I obtained this ancestral dragon pearl in the tomb of the Great Void." Yi Chunfeng briefly explained the origin of the ancestral dragon pearl. "We can confirm that the ancestral dragon pearl has always been in the tomb of the Great Void." At this time, Shen Daoxiu and Shen Henggu slowly walked over and said, "Shen Daoxiu, Shen Henggu, it's you guys." The Dragon God was even more shocked when he saw the two of them suddenly appear. Dragon God, there are rumors that the ancestral dragon pearl is the key to opening your dragon clan's secret realm. It seems that the rumors are true, Shenhengu said with a smile. That's right, this ancestral dragon pearl is indeed the key to opening the ancestral dragon's secret realm. The dragon god nodded and said without hiding anything, as long as we can open the ancestral dragon's secret realm, even if the Supreme Emperor Truebody comes, it will be useless. Senior, may I know where the ancestral dragon mysterious realm is? Yi Chenfeng asked. It's in this dragon tomb. The dragon god said, Little friend, I will heal here for 30 days. After 30 days, I will have to trouble you to wake me up and send me out. Alright, no problem. Yi Chenfeng nodded his head and agreed. Time flew by and 30 days passed in a flash. 30 days in the universe realm was only 1 day in the outside world. When the time was up, Yi Chenfeng woke up the healing dragon god and left the universe realm with him. The dragon god was an empty god almighty with extremely strong refining ability. He easily refined the life origin spiritual pearl and used the powerful life origin to heal 80% of his injuries. Dragon god, your injuries. Sensing that the dragon god's injuries were no longer serious, the gray-robed old man who had guarded the dragon tomb for countless years revealed a shocked expression. My injuries are no longer serious. Let's go to the ancestral dragon's secret realm, the dragon god said. Ancestral dragon's secret realm? Dragon god, you found the ancestral dragon pearl? The gray-robed old man asked in surprise. They knew that only by finding the ancestral dragon pearl could they open the ancestral dragon's secret realm. That's right. Little friend Yi brought the ancestral dragon pearl back for our dragon clan from the great void tomb. As long as we open the ancestral dragon's secret realm and awaken the ancestral dragon ancestor, our dragon clan's crisis will be resolved. The dragon god nodded. The 3 gray-robed old men bowed deeply to Yi Chenfeng and said gratefully from the bottom of their hearts, Little friend Yi, thank you for everything you've done for our dragon clan. We'll never forget it. Seniors, you're too polite. Time is of the essence. Let's go to the ancestral dragon's secret realm now. There was only about a day left before the Sky Clan and the Demon Clan forced them to abdicate. They had to race against time. Otherwise, the Dragon Clan would suffer heavy losses. Although the Dragon Tomb was huge, it was only a short distance for the Dragon God. He flew quickly with Yi Chenfeng and the other 3 and soon arrived at the ancestral dragon's secret realm deep in the Dragon Tomb. What a terrifying aura! Feeling the terrifying ancestral power from the 2 stone doors that were dozens of feet tall and had 2 ferocious dragons carved on the surface, even with Yi Chenfeng's strength as a 1-star Dao ancestor, he found it difficult to breathe and his soul trembled. Standing under the giant dragon stone doors, the dragon god took out the ancestral dragon pearl and placed it in the groove under the stone doors. Suddenly, the 2 giant dragon stone doors set off a deafening dragon roar. The 2 giant dragons seemed to come alive and swam between the 2 stone doors. Ka. Slowly, the 2 stone doors opened. An ancient and majestic aura was projected from the gap between the stone doors, causing the entire space to tremble violently. Little friend Yi, you're not a member of the Dragon Clan. You can't enter the ancestral dragon's secret realm. Please wait outside for a moment. The dragon god stood outside the open stone doors and said apologetically. Okay, then I'll wait for Senior here. Yi Chenfeng nodded and sat cross-legged outside the open dragon stone doors. He silently absorbed the powerful ancestral qi from the stone doors and cultivated. Come, let's go in. Filled with excitement, the dragon god and the other 3 walked into the ancestral dragon's secret realm. Roar. As soon as the dragon god and the other 3 entered the ancestral dragon's secret realm, a series of dragon roars came from the secret realm. It was as if the terrifying ancestral dragon had been resurrected. Then, the ancestral qi from the ancestral dragon's secret realm grew stronger and stronger. It became more and more vigorous, causing the entire secret realm to tremble. About a day later, the dragon god and the other three left the ancestral dragon's secret realm and returned to the dragon tomb. At this time, the dragon god had undergone earth-shattering changes. Not only was his injury completely healed, but his strength had also increased significantly. There were faint signs of him breaking through to mid-level virtual god. Little friend Yi, sorry to keep you waiting. We can go to Golden Dragon City now. The dragon god, who felt like he had been reborn, said. Okay. Yi Chunfeng nodded and led the dragon god and the other three to the space passage that had been dug by the space swallower bug. They went through the teleportation formation in the Dragon's Warm Mountain and rushed to Golden Dragon City. Chapter 1857. Stop, this is the Golden Dragon Palace. Without the permission of the Dragon Emperor, you are not allowed to enter. When Bai Tianzu and the others led the elders and clansmen of the dragon race to the magnificent Golden Dragon Palace, they were immediately stopped by a large number of Golden Dragon race guards, who scolded them loudly. What? Even I can't enter? The patriarch of the Black Dragon clan, who was dressed in a black robe and had a black beard around his mouth, slowly walked over and said domineeringly. He was emitting a strong dragon aura. No! The loyal Golden Dragon clan guard gritted his teeth as he endured the terrifying pressure released by the Black Dragon patriarch. You're courting death. The Black Dragon patriarch's eyes were filled with killing intent. He quickly reached out with his right hand and instantly transformed into a sharp dragon claw. He grabbed at the Golden Dragon guard's chest, wanting to kill him to establish his might. Just as the Golden Dragon guard's body was about to be pierced by the Black Dragon patriarch's dragon claw, a golden light suddenly shot out from the Golden Dragon Palace and bombarded the incomparably sharp dragon claw. It shattered the dragon claw and saved the Golden Dragon guard. Open the palace door and let them in. The Black Dragon patriarch's face darkened. Just as he was about to continue attacking, the Dragon Emperor's majestic voice echoed in the void, shaking the entire space. It's His Majesty, the Dragon Emperor. The Golden Dragon Guard said respectfully and quickly opened a path, allowing the arrogant Bai Tianzu, the Black Dragon Patriarch, and the others to barge into the Golden Dragon Palace. Outside the Golden Dragon Palace, the White Dragon Patriarch, the Black Dragon Patriarch, and the others saw the Dragon Emperor and a group of Golden Dragon race experts sitting on the Golden Dragon throne in a Golden Dragon robe. Although the Golden Dragon race was the #1 race of the Dragon race and their overall strength far surpassed the other races, the Celestial race and the Demon race controlled the other races other than the Winged Dragon race. Their overall strength far surpassed the Golden Dragon race. However, in the face of today's situation, the Dragon Emperor's cold and arrogant face was still incomparably calm, as if everything today was under his control. You're here today to force me to abdicate, right? The Dragon King's deep eyes shot out rays of light as he looked at the familiar faces and slowly said, That's right, Long Xingfeng, you don't deserve to be the Dragon Clan's emperor anymore. We came here today to ask you to hand over the Dragon Emperor's position. The Black Dragon Clan's patriarch was the first to stand out. He coldly stared at the Dragon Emperor and loudly said, I don't deserve to be the emperor of the Dragon Clan, but do you, a traitor who betrayed your master, deserve it? The Dragon Emperor looked at the Black Dragon Clan leader with disdain. Long Xingfeng, our Dragon Clan has a rule. If all the clan leaders jointly order you to abdicate, you must obey. You cannot disobey. The Black Dragon Clan leader brought out the Dragon Clan's ancestral rule. That's right. Our Dragon Clan does have such an ancestral rule? However, Patriarch Yinglong doesn't seem to agree with your decision. The Dragon Monarch said slowly. The Winged Dragon Clan will forever support His Majesty the Dragon Emperor and defend the Dragon Clan. Yinglong, who had been rescued by Yi Chunfeng and had come to Golden Dragon City early, walked out of the Golden Dragon Palace to support the Dragon Emperor. Humph, the Winged Dragon clan is just a small clan. What's the use of just him supporting you? The Black Dragon clan leader frowned slightly and looked at Ing Long coldly. What if I also supports His Majesty the Dragon Emperor? The Heavenly Dragon clan leader, Long Kuan, led a group of experts from the Heavenly Dragon clan to stand on the Dragon Emperor's side. Long Kuan, do you want to die? The Black Phoenix demon ancestor didn't expect Long Kuan to suddenly betray them. His face instantly turned gloomy as he sent a warning. Haha, Black Phoenix, do you really think you can control me with your little tricks? You're too naive. Long Kuan laughed. His soul moved and directly shattered the soul mark that was weakened to the extreme by the God-Eater brain, regaining his freedom. How did you do it? Feeling the soul mark in Long Kuan's soul suddenly disappear, the Black Phoenix demon ancestor widened his eyes in disbelief. He couldn't believe that Long Kuan had the means to break the soul mark. Long Batian, what do you say now? With the support of the Heavenly Dragon clan and the Winged Dragon clan, the situation immediately reversed. The Dragon clan's ancestral rules were useless now. The Dragon Emperor revealed a proud smile. Humph, Long Xingfeng, is it useful to have the support of these two trash? If you don't hand over the Dragon Emperor's position, you're destined to die. The Black Dragon clan leader, Long Batian, said with a gloomy face. Long Batian, do you really think you've won? The Dragon Emperor said domineeringly. Today, this Emperor is sitting here. If you want the Dragon Emperor's position, then come. If you can kill me, this Dragon Emperor's position is yours. Long Batian's strength was originally weaker than Long Xingfeng. Moreover, Long Xingfeng had the ancestral dragon sword, the Dragon clan's greatest treasure. Even with the support of the Heavenly clan and the Demon clan's ancestor realm experts, he didn't have the courage to challenge the Dragon Emperor. Why are you scared? Looking at the gloomy face of Long Batian, the Dragon Emperor said disdainfully, Long Batian, with your courage and boldness, you want to become the leader of my Dragon clan? You'd better obediently be a dog of the Demon clan and Heavenly clan. Hearing the Dragon Emperor ridiculing him in front of all the patriarchs, Long Batian was so angry that his entire body trembled and his lungs almost exploded. Long Hong and you guys, if you change your mind now, it's not too late. Moreover, I promise you, no matter what restrictions they put on you, I can guarantee your safety. The Dragon Emperor shifted his gaze to the Silver Dragon clan leader, Long Hong and the others, and promised in front of everyone. Really? Long Hong and the others' eyes lit up as they looked at the Dragon Emperor. They were different from the Black Dragon clan leader. In their hearts, they were unwilling to betray the Dragon clan and the Dragon Emperor. They were all controlled by the Heavenly clan and the Demon clan and had no choice but to come to the Golden Dragon City to force the Dragon Emperor to abdicate. This Emperor's words carry weight. Since this Emperor dares to make a promise, I will naturally ensure your safety. The Dragon Emperor nodded and promised. Dragon Emperor, we are willing to fight the enemy with you and defend the Dragon clan with our lives. Hearing the Dragon Emperor's promise, the faces of the Heavenly clan and the Demon clan immediately changed. However, the people of the Dragon clan led by Long Hong were pleasantly surprised as they all came to the Dragon Emperor's trench. You are courting death. When the White Ancestor, Black Phoenix Ancestor, and the others saw that the Dragon Emperor had convinced Long Hong and the others with a few words, they revealed ferocious expressions. They wanted to detonate the restrictions in their bodies and kill them to warn the other Dragon clan experts. Power of the Ancestral Land Seal. When the White Ancestor and the others detonated the restrictions, the Dragon Emperor, who had long been prepared, activated the power of the Ancestral Land and released a powerful ancestral power to envelop Long Hong and the others, cutting off their connection with the outside world so that the White Ancestor and the others couldn't detonate the restrictions in their bodies. How could this be? Looking at Long Hong and the others who were enveloped by the ancestral power and unharmed, Long Bashan's expression instantly changed as a strong sense of uneasiness arose in his heart. Long Xingfeng, I underestimated your methods, but even if they are willing, it's useless. Your dragon clan still can't escape the fate of being exterminated. Chapter 1858. Golden Rock, I've been waiting for you for a long time. The Dragon Emperor's deep eyes were filled with battle intent when he saw the Golden Rock ancestor of the Bird clan appear. A terrifying dragon aura spread out from his body and turned into a ferocious dragon head. It roared and attacked the Golden Rock ancestor. Whoosh whoosh. Golden Rock's eyes narrowed. Two sharp rays shot out from his eyes and penetrated the dragon's head, directly piercing through the dragon's might. Golden Rock, you're not my match. Let the Supreme Emperor Heaven Clone come out. The Dragon Emperor's expression didn't change at all when he saw the Golden Rock ancestor's eyes penetrating the dragon head. He slowly stood up and said in an overbearing manner, Long Xingfeng, do you still think the Dragon Clan is the most powerful divine beast? Above all divine beasts? The Golden Rock ancestor said with disdain. Today, I'll let you know that your Dragon Clan is just a joke. With that, the golden crown on the Golden Rock Great Elder's head shone with endless light. When the Golden Rock Great Elder fused with the golden crown, his battle prowess soared. A layer of dark golden light covered the feathers on his body, making him look mighty. The Limit Golden Crown. I didn't expect you to bring this treasure. However, if I want to kill you, the Limit Golden Crown won't be able to save you. The Limit Golden Crown was the Bird Clan's greatest treasure. It was a supreme-grade ancestral artifact. Once merged, it could unleash the strongest potential of the body. The Golden Rock ancestor was a peak ancestor. After merging with the Limit Golden Crown, his battle strength could soar to the level of a low-grade virtual god. It was extremely terrifying. Haha, is that so? Then let's see who will be the winner today. The Golden Rock ancestor laughed. His sharp eyes shot out endless light. His body flashed slightly and disappeared into the horizon as if he had teleported. He appeared in front of the Dragon Emperor and launched a fatal attack. The Golden Rock demonic ancestor's attack was very sudden and extremely fast, making it impossible to guard against. However, the Dragon Emperor's strength was even more terrifying. His powerful soul instantly captured the trajectory of the Golden Rock demonic ancestor's attack. He didn't use any moves and just blasted out an ordinary punch. With one punch, the space shattered. The terrifying fist light instantly collapsed layers of space, shattering the Golden Rock ancestor's extreme speed attack and forcing him to retreat. Power of the Ancestral Land Seal. After forcing Golden Rock demonic ancestor back with a punch, Dragon Emperor took a step forward and merged with the power of the Ancestral Land to seal the entire Golden Dragon Palace. Next, a terrifying dragon aura erupted from his body and turned into a terrifying dragon shadow, attacking Golden Rock demonic ancestor ferociously. Screech. The Golden Rock demonic ancestor roared and flapped his wings violently. A large number of light feathers shot towards the Dragon Emperor like flying swords. Wherever the flying sword passed, sword scars would appear. It was as though the entire space had been sliced apart by Golden Rock demon ancestor. Break. The Dragon Emperor punched a second time. The terrifying fist radiance was like an erupting volcano, collapsing layers of space and shattering Golden Rock's feather swords. It forcefully broke Golden Rock's attack. So strong. How can the Dragon Emperor be so strong? The White Ancestor, Black Phoenix demonic ancestor, and the others were shocked when they saw how the Dragon Emperor broke Golden Rock demonic ancestor's attack. They had all fought with the Dragon Clan's Patriarch-level experts, and the Black Luan demon ancestor had even forced the Heavenly Dragon Clan's Great Elder Long Yen to death. However, they discovered that the Dragon Clan's Patriarch-level experts were far too weak compared to the Dragon Emperor. They had a feeling that although the Dragon Emperor had not broken through to the virtual god realm, His combat strength had reached the virtual god realm. Golden Rock, show me your true strength. This kind of attack is useless against me. The mighty Dragon Emperor said proudly. A large number of golden dragon scales covered his body. At this moment, he was like an invincible god of war, undefeatable. Battle form. After experiencing the Dragon Emperor's terrifying strength, Golden Rock demonic ancestor immediately burned his powerful bloodline power and transformed into his strongest battle form. He held a supreme-grade ancestral artifact that was emitting an ominous aura and pierced through space, stabbing towards the Dragon Emperor. As the spear stabbed forward, the chaotic space seemed to be torn apart by the spear. The terrifying spear radiance was like a crack in space that kept spreading as it stabbed towards the Dragon Emperor. In the face of this invincible spear, the Dragon Emperor did not dodge nor did he use any powerful superpower. Instead, he continued to wave his dragon-scaled fist radiance to meet the attack. Ka. When the Dragon Emperor's powerful fist collided with the spear, the powerful spear radiance shook violently and shattered like glass. The Dragon Emperor is mighty. The Dragon Emperor is invincible. The Dragon Emperor is invincible. Seeing the Dragon Emperor shattering Golden Rock demonic ancestors' attacks with his fist, the Dragon Clan experts' morale soared as they cheered loudly. On the other hand, the experts from the Heavenly Tribe and the Demon Clan looked ghastly. The Dragon Emperor's strength was beyond their imagination, and it made them tremble. Screech! Screech! Golden Rock demonic ancestor continued to use his killer move. Ferocious rock shadows split out from his body and attacked the Dragon Emperor at a speed that was more than 10 times the speed of light. When Golden Rock demonic ancestor split the rock shadows to attack, he attacked with the supreme-grade ancestral artifact at the same time, trying to suppress the Dragon Emperor. The Golden Rock demonic ancestor's attacks were extremely ferocious and terrifying. Ordinary ancestor realm experts couldn't withstand it, but the Dragon Emperor was almost invincible in the Golden Dragon Palace. He didn't use any divine ability, and just relied on a pair of indestructible fists to continuously shatter the Golden Rock demonic ancestor's attack. Heavenly Domain. After experiencing the terror of the Dragon Emperor, Golden Rock demonic ancestor used his killer move. His entire body's intent realm merged with the void, forming the most mysterious Heavenly Domain. When the Heavenly Domain was formed, the space under his feet was filled with endless heavenly power. It was like a surging wave that caused a huge change in the entire space. Heavenly Domain. I didn't expect the Heavenly Tribe to impart the Domain's superpower to you. Sensing the power of the Domain around Golden Rock demonic ancestor, the Dragon Emperor's arrogant face turned solemn. The Domain was the most profound intent realm. Only by cultivating Tao intent to the extreme and breaking through the empty God realm could one cultivate the Domain. Once the Domain was formed, he would be the ruler of the entire Domain. In the Domain, he could control everything and was invincible. The Heavenly Domain was the top domain in the universe. Back then, the Heavenly Tribe defeated the Divine Tribe with the Heavenly Domain. The reason why Golden Rock demonic ancestor could use the Domain was because of the extreme Golden Crown. Long Xingfeng, let me send you to hell. Golden Rock demonic ancestor roared and stabbed the Dragon Emperor with his spear. Suddenly, the entire space was in chaos. The terrifying Domain power destroyed everything and brought a huge threat to the Dragon Emperor. Hum, hum, hum. A deafening dragon roar came from the Dragon Emperor's body as he faced Golden Rock ancestral demon's spear that was filled with the power of the Domain. A 5-clawed golden dragon shadow that was thousands of meters long soared into the sky and merged with his right fist, increasing the power of his punch. Boom! The Dragon Emperor punched out and the powerful force was instantly compressed to the extreme. The terrifying fist radiance with unparalleled destructive power bombarded the Heavenly Domain's spear radiance. Rumble! The two powerful forces collided and shattered the space. A huge black hole appeared in the entire space, as if the end of the world had arrived. Chapter 1859. Ancestral Dragon Sword Break. The power of the territory was unimaginable. Even with the Dragon Emperor's strength and the ancestral land of the Dragon tribe, he could not withstand it. At the critical moment, the Dragon Emperor summoned the ancestral dragon sword and slashed forward. As the sword slashed down, the terrifying might of the ancestral dragon roared in the sky. Like a raging wave, it swept through the remaining power of the spear light and broke the domain attack of the Golden Rock demonic progenitor. Ancestral Dragon Sword. The Golden Rock ancestral dragon looked fearful as he looked at the light sword that was hovering above the Dragon Emperor's head. No matter how powerful a supreme-grade ancestral artifact was, it could not be compared to a Void God artifact. Your Majesty, kill him and show the Dragon Tribe's might. Your Majesty, the Dragon Emperor will win. The experts of the Dragon Tribe cheered for the Dragon Emperor as they watched the Dragon Emperor summon the ancestral dragon sword and break the Golden Rock ancestral dragon's attack. The Dragon Emperor's eyes narrowed as he locked onto the Golden Rock demonic ancestor. He slashed out with his sword, and a terrifying sword light swept across 1,000 miles. It covered the entire sky and slashed towards the Golden Rock demonic ancestor with an unstoppable force. Swish! Although the Golden Rock ancestral dragon had unleashed his territory, he did not dare to face the ancestral dragon sword's power head-on. He immediately evaded the ancestral dragon sword's attack with unpredictable speed. Divine Tainted Blood. The moment the Golden Rock ancestral dragon sword's attack, the Golden Rock ancestral dragon suddenly closed in on the Dragon Emperor and struck out a ball of black blood that emitted a pungent stench. It stained the ancestral dragon sword. The ancestral dragon sword's power was immediately affected as it was stained with the divine tainted blood. Golden Rock, I didn't expect you to use the divine tainted blood to weaken the ancestral dragon sword's power. However, I have to say that your idea is a little childish. The ancestral dragon sword was stained by the divine tainted blood, but the Dragon Emperor did not look surprised. He quickly spat a mouthful of blood essence into the ancestral dragon sword and activated the multiplying divine runes in the ancestral dragon sword to quickly refine the divine tainted blood. In the blink of an eye, the divine tainted blood that could turn a supreme-grade ancestral artifact into an ordinary sacred artifact was refined by the divine runes in the ancestral dragon sword. Golden Puppet. The Golden Rock sovereign martial ancestor didn't expect that even the divine tainted blood couldn't taint the ancestral dragon sword. He quickly summoned 12 golden-armored puppets that emitted golden light and wielded divine weapons to attack the Dragon Emperor. When the ancestral dragon sword in the Dragon Emperor's hand cut open a golden puppet like tofu, an unimaginable power spread out from the golden puppet, shattered the void, and bombarded the Dragon Emperor. When the Dragon Emperor stepped into the void and dodged the destructive power of the golden-bodied puppets, the remaining 11 golden-bodied puppets suddenly approached him and surrounded him. Golden Dragon Roar. Before the 11 golden puppets launched their attacks, a ferocious dragon head emerged from the Dragon Emperor's body. It let out a resonant dragon roar and bombarded the 11 golden puppets at close range, slightly slowing their reactions. In the next moment, the Dragon Emperor used the dragon race's inherited ability and strangely dodged the encirclement of the 11 golden puppets. He then slashed at them with the ancestral dragon sword. When the sword slashed down, the space where the 11 golden puppets were was completely shattered. The terrifying sword radiance with unstoppable power slashed at the 11 golden puppets and exploded them. Boom, boom, boom. A series of explosions rang out. The 11 golden puppets exploded with terrifying destructive power, creating a black hole in the entire space. However, their self-destruction didn't harm the Dragon Emperor at all. Golden Rock, use whatever other moves you have. Otherwise, I'm afraid you won't have a chance. The Dragon Emperor's battle intent soared to the extreme after forcefully breaking the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor's killing move. Extreme speed. The Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor didn't retreat. He raised his speed to the extreme and transformed into a series of afterimages in the air. He relied on his absolute speed to attack the Dragon Emperor. He wanted to use speed to suppress the Dragon Emperor. It's useless. You're destined to be the loser. Although the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor's speed was unparalleled in the demon race and only the Phoenix race could match it, the Dragon Emperor could continuously mobilize the power of the Ancestral Vein in the Golden Dragon Palace. Ancestral Vein Vortex. The Dragon Emperor roared and controlled the powerful Ancestral Vein power to form an endless vortex in the air. It twisted the entire space and restricted the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor's speed. When the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor was deep in the Ancestral Vein vortex, the Dragon Emperor's body erupted with terrifying ancestral power. The powerful dragon blood power swallowed the mountains and rivers and opened up 1,000 miles of space. At this moment, the Dragon Emperor looked disdainfully in all directions and slashed with his sword. The terrifying sword radiance turned into an invincible sword mountain and charged towards the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor. Extreme Golden Crown Defend. Facing the Dragon Emperor's sword mountain, the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor, who couldn't dodge, immediately activated the Extreme Golden Crown's defensive power and formed layers of restrictive light walls in front of him. However, the Ancestral Dragon Sword was a Void God artifact. Its offensive power far exceeded the defensive power of the Extreme Golden Crown. With one slash, the restrictive light walls formed by the Extreme Golden Crown were instantly shattered. The terrifying sword power slashed towards the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor. At this critical moment, the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor executed a secret technique and transformed into several afterimages. He made use of the Extreme Golden Crown's defensive power and dodged to the side. Rumble. Before the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor had a chance to catch his breath, the Dragon Emperor controlled the powerful Ancestral Vein power and turned it into a huge hand. The hand covered a radius of a few miles and landed heavily on the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor's body, smashing him to the ground. Sovereign Martial Ancestor. Seeing the Dragon Emperor heavily injure the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor, the White Ancestor, Black Phoenix Sovereign Martial Ancestor, and the rest were shocked. Heavenly Domain. The Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor roared and flew out of the pit. He continued to execute the Heavenly Domain and mobilized the powerful Domain power to attack the Dragon Emperor crazily. Under the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor's attack, the layers of Domain power once again turned into endless waves that swept across the entire space. Each wave of attacks was stronger than the previous one. Break. The Dragon Emperor roared. The Ancestral Dragon Sword descended from the sky like a silver river. It cut through the layers of Domain power and slashed towards the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor, forcing him to dodge in a sorry state. What should we do? The Sovereign Martial Ancestor is completely suppressed by the Dragon Emperor. The battle between the Dragon Emperor and the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor was very important. If the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor could suppress the Dragon Emperor, it would greatly weaken the Dragon Tribe's momentum and turn the tables. But now, the Dragon Emperor was fighting bravely with the Ancestral Dragon Sword in his hand. The Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor was forced to retreat and his injuries worsened. This made the hearts of the Demon Tribe and Heavenly Tribe sink to the bottom. Golden Rock, let me send you to hell. In order to completely suppress the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor, the Dragon Emperor continuously mobilized the powerful ancestral power, transforming it into a towering mountain that forcefully suppressed the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor, greatly restricting his movements. In the next moment, the Dragon Emperor activated the divine runes in the ancestral dragon sword and slashed at the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor, wanting to split him in half and kill him. Just as the Golden Rock Sovereign Martial Ancestor was about to be struck by the sword, the space in front of him suddenly distorted. A white jade-like hand suddenly appeared and grabbed at the ancestral dragon sword light. In an instant, the ancestral dragon sword light that was enough to shatter a top-grade ancestral artifact and kill a peak ancestral martial ancestor was crushed by the white jade-like hand. Chapter 1860. Supreme Emperor Heaven. The Dragon King's expression changed slightly when he saw the hand that crushed the ancestral dragon sword. He immediately looked at the space beside the Golden Rock ancestral demon ancestor and saw a man in a dark golden robe who looked down on all living things. He was majestic and unparalleled as he slowly walked out. Supreme Emperor Patriarch. The Golden Rock ancestor was an arrogant person, but he didn't dare to be impudent in front of Supreme Emperor Heaven. He respectfully bowed. Leave him to me. Supreme Emperor Heaven nodded. You may leave. Yes, Supreme Emperor Patriarch. Although he was unwilling, the Golden Rock ancestor didn't dare to go against Supreme Emperor Heaven's order. He glared at the solemn Dragon Emperor and quickly flew back to the Fiend Race camp. Long Xingfeng, you are stronger than I imagined. If I give you another 100 years, you might be able to take the final step and break through to the Void God realm. Supreme Emperor Heaven said in a deep voice as he looked at the Dragon Emperor calmly with his hands behind his back. Supreme Emperor Heaven, don't bluff here. With the remaining energy of your clone, you can only hold on for a day at most. The Dragon Emperor said in a deep voice. That's right. My clone doesn't have much energy left, but it's enough to kill you. Supreme Emperor Heaven calmly admitted, his voice filled with confidence. Is that so? The Dragon Emperor took a deep breath and continuously channeled the power of the ancestral vein into his body, preparing to fight to the death with Supreme Emperor Heaven. Long Xingfeng, I will give you one last chance to live. Submit to me, and I will spare you and your dragon race. Supreme Emperor Heaven said domineeringly. If you want my dragon race to submit, wait until your next life. My dragon race will not be like the fiend race and become the celestial race's dog. The Dragon Emperor coldly snorted and said unyieldingly. Sigh, I wanted to show you the right path, but you didn't cherish it. Supreme Emperor Heaven shook his head and sighed softly. Since you want to die so badly, I will fulfill your wish. With that, a black porcelain jar floated out of Supreme Emperor Heaven's body. When it opened, a large amount of divine blood flowed out like a waterfall, sprinkling the entire Golden Dragon Palace. In an instant, the ancestral vein of the dragon race hidden under the Golden Dragon Palace was tainted by the divine blood, and its ancestral aura continued to decline. You, the Dragon Emperor, didn't expect Supreme Emperor Heaven to think of using the divine tainted blood to restrain the ancestral bloodline of the dragon race, and his expression changed drastically. His strength was originally inferior to Supreme Emperor Heaven's, and now that the ancestral veins of the dragon race had been corrupted, their power had decreased. He couldn't borrow the power of the ancestral veins to fight against Supreme Emperor Heaven. Long Xingfeng, since you've given up on submitting, then you can die. Supreme Emperor Heaven's eyes, which were as deep as the sea, shot out a light that was even more dazzling than the sun. When he struck out with his palm, a large area of space couldn't withstand it and shattered. Slash! The Dragon Emperor didn't retreat. He held the ancestral dragon's sword tightly with both hands and unleashed a majestic slash that turned into an invincible sword Dao that slashed at the terrifying palm of the Supreme Emperor imprint. Boom, boom, boom. The two powerful forces collided with each other, fiercely repulsing each other, constantly erupting with deafening sounds of explosions. I really like this ancestral dragon sword. Why don't you give it to me? Supreme Emperor Heaven's pupils constricted, and he took a step forward, instantly crossing the repulsion space and appearing in front of the Dragon Emperor. He extended his hand and grabbed at the Dragon Emperor. Supreme Emperor Heaven's right hand wasn't fast, but when he saw the Dragon Emperor, his eyes revealed deep apprehension as he desperately retreated. However, the moment he retreated, a force that was beyond his imagination instantly erupted and fiercely bombarded his body. It destroyed his defense as easily as breaking through dry weeds and smashed rotten wood, and sent him flying. Dragon Emperor! Seeing the invincible dragon monarch being injured by the Supreme Emperor Heaven in an instant, Long Hong and the others' expressions changed drastically. Their hearts tensed up. If the Dragon Emperor couldn't win, what awaited them and the dragon race would be a destructive disaster. Not bad, not bad. Even if you die, you should be proud of yourself for being able to withstand one of my palm attacks. Supreme Emperor Heaven looked at the pale Dragon Emperor, who was coughing up blood, and said arrogantly, "Bloodline ignition, Golden Dragon War physique." After seeing how terrifying Supreme Emperor Heaven was, the Dragon Emperor didn't hesitate to burn his powerful bloodline power and transform into the strongest Golden Dragon War physique. Slash! His strength surged to the extreme, and the Dragon Emperor spat out several mouthfuls of blood into the ancestral dragon sword, activating the ancestral runes in the ancestral dragon sword. He then slashed at the incoming Supreme Emperor Heaven. When the sword slashed out, the invincible Great Tao was rapidly deduced. The terrifying sword light turned into a lifelike ancestral dragon. The Great Tao's laws revolved around the ancestral dragon sword light. This sword could even cut down the sun, moon, and stars. Emperor Heaven Limitless! In the face of the ancestral dragon sword's attack, Supreme Emperor Tian took a step forward and formed a powerful heavenly domain. Boundless heavenly force rapidly transformed inside the domain and turned into royal heavenly force. It was like a boundless grand Tao that bombarded the invincible slash unleashed by the Dragon Emperor. Boom! 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 The two destructive forces collided in the sky above the Golden Dragon Palace. The explosive power instantly shattered the layers of restrictions and collapsed the ancient buildings in the Golden Dragon Palace. In an instant, 1/5 of the Golden Dragon Palace's buildings were destroyed. Many of the weaker almighties of the dragon race, demon race, and celestial race were killed by the terrifying power. PFFF, 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 PFFF. An incomparably huge crack appeared in the increasingly intense storm of destruction. Supreme Emperor Heaven broke through the storm of destruction with one hand and walked out of the void step by step. Ancestral vein power. Fuse. Due to his severe injuries, the Dragon Emperor constantly channeled the power of the ancestral vein into his body to forcefully suppress his injuries. However, the divine tainted blood was too filthy, which greatly affected the ancestral vein of the dragon race. In addition, a portion of the ancestral vein's power was sealing Long Hong and the others, so the amount of ancestral vein's power that the Dragon Emperor borrowed was negligible. Die! Killing intent flashed in Supreme Emperor Heaven's eyes as the phantom of an ancient tree appeared behind him. If Yi Chunfeng was here, he would be able to recognize it as one of the three great divine trees of the universe, the Divine Tree of Time. The Divine Tree of Time lashed out, shattering the entire space. The terrifying power was invincible as it clashed with the ancestral dragon's sword rays. Long Xingfeng, I didn't expect you to be so tough. I want to see how many times you can block my attacks. Chapter 1861. Dragon Emperor. Seeing the helpless Dragon Emperor being attacked by Supreme Emperor Heaven, Long Kuan, Long Hong, and the others were enraged. They wanted to rush out of the ancestral vein's restriction and fight Supreme Emperor Heaven. Roar, roar, roar! Suddenly, a terrifying dragon roar echoed from the depths of the Golden Dragon Palace. A powerful teleportation light descended from the sky. Supreme Emperor Heaven, you dare to bully the weak? You dare to bully my dragon race's Dragon Emperor? I will destroy you today. The dragon god's furious voice resounded in the chaotic golden dragon palace. Dragon god, you actually escaped. Hearing the dragon god's furious voice, Supreme Emperor Heaven's expression changed. He never imagined that the dragon god would have a way to leave the dragon tomb sealed by the outer sky divine stone. The dragon god's appearance had completely disrupted his plan. Ancestor dragon god has finally arrived. Young Master Yi, Xiaotian and the others have succeeded. Long One and the others, who were in despair, were moved to tears when they heard the dragon god's voice. As for the White Ancestor, Black Phoenix Ancestor, and the others, they felt uneasy. Humph, no one can ruin this god's plan. Supreme Emperor Heaven looked at the dragon god, who had turned into a streak of light, and flew over. I didn't kill you last time, but today, I will kill you in front of your descendants. After saying that, Supreme Emperor Heaven transformed his foot into a domain and attacked the dragon god. The dragon god didn't dodge the light formed by the heaven domain. He quickly punched out with the might of the ancestral dragon, shattering the heaven domain and breaking Supreme Emperor Heaven's attack. After experiencing the might of the dragon god's punch, Supreme Emperor Heaven's expression changed. He discovered that not only had the dragon god escaped, but his injuries had also healed. Furthermore, his strength had greatly increased. What happened? Supreme Emperor Heaven couldn't imagine what kind of unforeseen event had happened. After breaking Supreme Emperor Heaven's attack, the dragon god immediately merged with the ancestral dragon pearl. Borrowing the powerful ancestral energy within the pearl, he possessed the strength of a mid-stage void god. Ancestral Dragon Sword, come! After merging with the ancestral dragon pearl, the dragon god, whose strength had rapidly increased, summoned the ancestral dragon sword and launched a fierce attack at Supreme Emperor Heaven, wanting to kill him in one go. At this moment, the dragon god's strength had far surpassed Supreme Emperor Heaven's clone. Dragon god's attacks had completely suppressed Supreme Emperor Heaven, forcing him to retreat. Demon Ancestor, what should we do? The Black Phoenix Demon Ancestor immediately sent a voice transmission to the Golden Rock Demon Ancestor, who had a gloomy expression. If the Grand Imperial Clan leader is no match for him, we will leave the Dragon World immediately. Supreme Emperor Heaven was their greatest reliance. If even Supreme Emperor Heaven was killed, then they would only die if they stayed behind. The battle between Dragon God and Supreme Emperor Heaven grew more and more intense. Since they were both Void God Almighties, their attacks surpassed the limits of this world. They constantly shattered the void, creating holes in it. Seeing that Supreme Emperor Heaven was no match for him, he used his final method and released the last of his strength. With the seal in his body undone, Supreme Emperor Heaven's strength continued to surge. The injuries inflicted by the Dragon God were also forcefully suppressed. However, by using this final bit of power, he had increased the speed of destruction of the Supreme Emperor Heaven clone. Xian Tian Divine Cannon, Divine Punishment. After the seal was undone, the Supreme Emperor Heaven controlled the Heaven Domain and turned it into a terrifying divine punishment that smashed towards the Dragon God, shattering the ancestral Dragon Sword Ray. Supreme Emperor Heaven is going all out. I wonder if Ancestor Dragon God can withstand it. He definitely can. Ancestor Dragon God is invincible. A mere Supreme Emperor Heaven isn't his match. The battle between the Dragon God and Supreme Emperor Heaven was extremely important. Regardless of who won or lost, the final outcome would be changed. Therefore, this battle affected everyone. Qingfeng, do you need us to make a move? Through Yi Qinfeng's mirror image, Xin Dao Su, Shunheng, and the others were also paying attention to the battle. I believe that Senior Dragon God will definitely be able to fight against Supreme Emperor Heaven's clone. It's better for us to continue hiding. Yi Qinfeng didn't want to expose himself in front of everyone. Once he did, it would affect many of his plans. Moreover, He believed that the dragon god had obtained a great treasure in the ancestral dragon's secret realm. He believed that the dragon god would definitely be able to turn the tide and kill Supreme Emperor Heaven's clone to control the situation. Dragon Domain. As Supreme Emperor Heaven continuously raised the power of his heaven domain, the dragon god also activated his dragon domain. When the dragon domain opened, a large number of dragon images appeared in the space around the dragon god. The sound of the great Tao resonated incessantly, and the space within a 1 li radius turned into dragon Tao soil. Rumble. The two domains collided, and the entire void trembled violently. The terrifying collision seemed to be able to make the sun and moon sink. Thump, thump, thump. Just as the dragon god and Supreme Emperor Heaven were controlling the two domains to fiercely clash in the void, strange heartbeats resounded. With each heartbeat, the dragon god's strength increased by a bit. The dragon domain continued to grow stronger and stronger, breaking through the heaven domain. Golden Purng, quickly bring the people of the monster race and celestial race out of the dragon world. Sensing that the heaven domain was about to shatter, the Supreme Emperor Heaven's clone immediately transmitted a message to Golden Purng and the others. Yes, Supreme Emperor Patriarch. After receiving the message, Golden Purng and the others didn't hesitate. They abandoned the stupefied Black Dragon Patriarch and the others and fled out of the chaotic Golden Dragon Palace. Where do you think you're going? The moment the celestial race and monster race fled, the Dragon Emperor ignored his injuries and chased after them with all his might with the 3 peak ancestor realm elders. Under their all-out attacks, a large number of celestial race and monster race experts were killed. They turned into clouds of blood mist in midair, dyeing the entire sky red. While the Dragon Emperor was crazily slaughtering the invading enemies, the Heavenly Dragon Race, Golden Dragon Race, and Winged Dragon Race attacked at the same time, suppressing the panicked Black Dragon Race experts. Facing the suppression of the Heavenly Dragon Race, Golden Dragon Race, and Winged Dragon Race, the frightened Black Dragon Race experts couldn't resist at all and were instantly suppressed. Dragon God, I admit defeat this time, but this is only the beginning. When my true body descends, I will definitely exterminate your entire dragon race. Supreme Emperor Heaven, whose heaven domain was about to shatter and whose body was covered in cracks, said domineeringly. Supreme Emperor Heaven, do you really think that my dragon race is easy to bully? Today, I will let you experience the true power of my dragon race. As he spoke, a giant dragon that was tens of thousands of meters long drilled out of the dragon god's body. It was covered in dark golden dragon scales and had a coral dragon horn on its head. Great primogenitor dragon. Looking at this giant dragon, Supreme Emperor Heaven's eyes widened and his expression changed greatly. He didn't believe that the dragon race still had a great primogenitor dragon that hadn't died yet. Roar! When the great primogenitor dragon appeared, it immediately opened its bloody mouth and let out a heaven-shaking roar at Supreme Emperor Heaven. The terrifying sound wave directly shattered the shattered heaven domain and heavily bombarded Supreme Emperor Heaven's body, shattering his clone. Ancestral Dragon. Looking at the great primogenitor dragon soaring in the sky, all the dragon race experts present uniformly knelt on the ground. As for the Black Dragon Patriarch who had betrayed the dragon race, he was scared silly and trembled. After killing Supreme Emperor Heaven's clone with a roar, the great primogenitor dragon merged with the dragon god's body and turned into a second heart. Chapter 1862. Dragon, Dragon God Ancestor, Your Majesty Dragon Monarch, I know my wrongs. Please spare me. I promise to be loyal to the dragon race forever and never betray you. Long Batian was in despair when he saw the dragon ancestor shatter Supreme Emperor Heaven's clone with a roar. In order to survive, he knelt on the ground in humiliation and begged for mercy. Humph, you traitors still have the face to beg for mercy. The bloody dragon monarch coldly snorted and said with killing intent, where's your domineering attitude from before? Why are you afraid now? Those who betray the dragon race will be killed without mercy. However, on account of your contributions to the dragon race, I can spare your life." The dragon god slowly walked down from the sky. "Thank you, dragon god ancestor." Long Batian was overjoyed and immediately kowtowed 3 times to the dragon god. "However, you can avoid death, but you can't escape punishment. From today onwards, you will be the dragon puppet of the dragon race and forever protect the territory of the dragon world. Wash away your sins." With that, the dragon god took out a dark golden talisman and threw it into Long Batian's head. "No, I don't want to be a dragon puppet." Although a dragon puppet wouldn't die, Long Batian would become a walking corpse without any self-awareness and wouldn't be able to enter the cycle of reincarnation. However, the dark golden talisman that the dragon god had thrown into his soul was obtained from the ancestral dragon's secret realm. Its power was extremely terrifying, and Long Batian couldn't resist it at all. Soon, his will was corroded by the dark golden talisman, and he lost his self-awareness and became muddle-headed. "Dragon god ancestor, your majesty dragon monarch, we were forced to do this. Please spare us." Seeing Long Batian turn into a mindless dragon puppet, the members of the black dragon race trembled in fear and knelt on the ground, kowtowing and begging for mercy. Xingfeng, order people to search their souls. If they were really forced, spare their lives. However, if anyone is found to be in cahoots with Long Batian and trying to subvert the dragon race, kill them without mercy. The dragon god glanced at the members of the black dragon race kneeling on the ground and kowtowing and begging for mercy. "Yes, ancestor." The dragon emperor nodded and immediately ordered people to lock up the black dragon clan and search their souls one by one. "Ancestor, the ancestral bloodline of the dragon clan is now tainted by the divine blood. Do you have a way to get rid of this divine blood?" The overall situation had been decided, but the tainted ancestral bloodline of the dragon race still cast a layer of haze over the entire dragon race. If they couldn't get rid of the tainted blood, it would have a great impact on the future of the dragon race. Divine tainted blood is known as the world's dirtiest bloodline. It is extremely difficult to get rid of it, and it might take a very long period of time. The dragon god felt that the ancestral bloodline of the dragon clan was seriously polluted by the divine blood. He sighed softly, but there was no good way. Just as the dragon deity and the others were at a loss of what to do, Yi Chunfeng's voice entered the dragon deity's ears. Hearing Yi Chunfeng's voice, the dragon deity's eyes lit up. "Xingfeng, take everyone away from the Golden Dragon Palace. Don't come back without my permission." "Ancestor, you..." The dragon emperor's eyes widened in confusion. "You'll know in a while." The dragon god showed a relieved smile and said, "Okay, quickly do as I say. No one is allowed to stay." "Yes." The dragon emperor respectfully complied and immediately led the dragon race away from the heavily damaged Golden Dragon Palace. Just as the dragon emperor and the others left, Yi Chunfeng appeared above the tainted ancestral bloodline of the dragon race. "Senior Dragon God, I don't want to expose my identity too much. Please forgive me," Yi Chunfeng explained. "Little friend Yi is too polite. I really don't know how to repay your kindness to my dragon race." It could be said that without Yi Chunfeng, the dragon god wouldn't have been able to escape, let alone obtain the treasures in the ancestral dragon's secret realm. Without the dragon god's strength to turn the tide, Supreme Emperor Heaven's strength was enough to destroy the entire dragon race. It could be said that Yi Chunfeng had given the dragon race a new lease on life. "Maybe I really need Senior's help in the future," Yi Chunfeng said with a smile. "Okay, in the future, little friend Yi only needs to say a word. This old one will definitely not hesitate to climb a mountain of swords or plunge into a sea of flames." The dragon god patted his chest and guaranteed. "Chaos Divine Wood." After receiving the dragon god's promise, Yi Chunfeng revealed a smile. With a thought, he summoned the Chaos Divine Wood and controlled it to grow continuously. Tens of thousands of five-colored roots extended from it and took root in the tainted ancestral bloodline of the dragon race, frenziedly devouring the tainted blood. The Chaos Divine Wood was the #1 divine wood in the universe and could devour all energy. Under its frenzied devouring, the tainted blood in the tainted ancestral bloodline of the dragon race rapidly decreased. In less than an hour, the tainted blood in the ancestral bloodline of the dragon race was completely devoured by the Chaos Divine Wood. Chaos Divine Wood, I didn't expect little friend Yi to be recognized by the Chaos Divine Wood. Looking at the swaying Chaos 5 elements light and the powerful Chaos Divine Wood, the dragon god couldn't help but envy Yi Chunfeng's fortuitous encounter and feel a little curious about his identity. Senior, please keep the matter of the Chaos Divine Wood a secret. With a thought, Yi Chunfeng withdrew the Chaos Divine Wood. Don't worry, I won't leak the matter of the Chaos Divine Wood. The dragon god nodded and promised. By the way, little friend Yi, I see that you dual cultivate Tao and body, so I'll give you this bottle of ancestral dragon marrow. After refining this bottle of ancestral dragon marrow, it should be able to temper your body to a higher realm. Thank you, Senior. Yi Chunfeng didn't refuse. He accepted the heavy bottle of ancestral dragon marrow that the dragon god gave him and returned to the universe realm. After Yi Chunfeng left, the dragon god immediately called back the dragon emperor and the others. When they discovered that the tainted blood in the tainted ancestral bloodline of the dragon race had disappeared, they were shocked. However, the dragon flood dragon and the others who had seen Yi Chunfeng's heaven-defying methods still guessed who did it. After repelling the enemy, the dragon god took action and broke the restrictions in the bodies of the silver dragon race, the hornless dragon race, and the others. He began to clean up the tumors in the dragon race and reorganize the entire dragon race. When the dragon race was rebuilding after the calamity, Yi Chunfeng distributed a few thousand kilograms of ancestral dragon marrow to everyone. They cultivated in the universe realm with a 30-fold time flow and tempered their bodies. The ancestral dragon marrow that the dragon god gave to Yi Chunfeng was extremely pure, and there was a lot of it. Yi Chunfeng circulated the divine 9 transformations and frantically refined it, constantly accelerating the transformation of his body. Very quickly, 3 years passed in the outside world, and 90 years passed in the universe realm. In these 90 years, Yi Chunfeng refined more than 400 kilograms of ancestral dragon marrow and successfully cultivated his body to the celestial body great perfection realm. His body's toughness was comparable to a high-grade transcendent saint artifact, and his physical strength had reached an astonishing 500 billion kilograms. Although Yi Chunfeng's realm didn't increase, he felt that he could easily crush a 3-star ancestor with his physical strength by burning his Grand Mist bloodline. When he unleashed his strength to the extreme, he could even fight against a 4-star ancestor. Yi Chunfeng cultivated to the celestial body great perfection realm, and his strength increased tremendously. The divine demon torch dragon, summer-patterned butterfly, Ling Yu peacock king, and the chaos divine beast had refined a large amount of ancestral dragon marrow, and their strength had increased tremendously. Among them, the chaos divine beast had broken through to the 1-star ancestor beast. The divine demon torch dragon's strength had increased to the 3-star ancestor beast. The Ling Yu and summer-patterned butterfly had both cultivated to the pinnacle of 6-star Tao gods, and the peacock king had cultivated to the pinnacle of 1-star ancestor beast. As for the divine Tao void realm and Shenheng, they had completely recovered from their injuries after refining the ancestral dragon marrow. Soul Devourer's brain had also successfully controlled Fa Tianzu. However, the terrifying Death God and Mo Ling were still trying their best to resist the invasion of Soul Devourer's brain. It's time to leave the dragon world. Chapter 1863. Little friend Yi, you're out of seclusion. Sensing that Yi Chunfeng's physical strength had increased by several levels and was even stronger than ordinary dragons, the dragon god looked at Yi Chunfeng a few more times. This is all thanks to the ancestral dragon marrow that senior dragon god gave me. Without it, I wouldn't have been able to cultivate my physical body to such a level, Yi Chunfeng said with a smile. Compared to your kindness to my dragon clan, that few thousand kilograms of ancestral dragon marrow is nothing. The dragon god revealed a rare smile. By the way, senior dragon god, your majesty dragon emperor, I want to ask you too about two things? Yi Chunfeng changed the topic. What is it? The dragon emperor, who was wearing a golden dragon robe, asked. We'll tell you as long as we know. I want to know the whereabouts of a person. Yi Chunfeng briefly explained Yu Nichang's situation. Little friend Yi, you came from the lowest realm. After learning that Yi Chunfeng actually came from the lowest level of the lower realm and had not ascended to the heaven realm for a long time, the dragon god and dragon monarch's hearts were in turmoil. The way they looked at Yi Chunfeng changed greatly. Yes, I did come from the lower realm, and my wife in the lower realm is the reincarnation of a human expert in the void god realm. I really want to find her. Yi Chunfeng nodded. If your wife is really the reincarnation of a human expert in the void god realm, then it won't be difficult to find her. The human race's sphere of influence in the void god realm was not large. They only had two pillars, the Ascension Palace and the Kunlun Sacred Land. With the power of the Dragon Clan, it would not be difficult to find Yu Nichang, who had just returned. Then I'll leave everything to the two seniors. Yi Chunfeng bowed deeply to the Dragon God and Dragon Emperor and instructed. Little friend Yi, you don't have to be so polite. The Dragon God said with a smile, compared to your kindness to my Dragon Clan, this is nothing. By the way, little friend Yi, what else do you want to ask? I wonder if the two seniors have heard of the ancestral sword crystal. Yi Chunfeng asked. Ancestral sword crystal? Do you need this thing? The dragon god was a little surprised. The ancestral sword crystal was extremely rare. Not many people had heard of it and very few people needed it. Yes, I need the ancestral sword crystal to cultivate a divine ability. If he could cultivate the invincible sword physique, then Yi Chunfeng's battle prowess would increase a step further, and he would be completely capable of killing 4-star ancestor realm powerhouses. The dragon god pondered for a moment before saying, Ancestral sword crystals are too rare. My dragon race doesn't have any. However, I do know of a place that should have ancestral sword crystals. Where is this place? Yi Chunfeng's eyes lit up. Sword Domain. The dragon god said. Sword Domain, what kind of place is that? This was the first time Yi Chunfeng had heard of a place called the Sword Domain in the Void God realm. The Sword Domain was originally the territory of the human clan, and the master of the Sword Domain was a peak ancestor realm supreme expert of the human clan. However, hundreds of thousands of years ago, the Sword Domain suddenly betrayed the human clan and submitted to the Tian clan. After the Sword Domain submitted to the Tian clan, they suddenly sealed the domain gate. No one knows what they are plotting, and there should be the ancestral sword crystal you need there. The dragon god said in detail. Senior, I wonder if you can tell me the location of the Sword Domain. After listening to the dragon god's narration, Yi Chunfeng developed a strong interest in the Sword Domain and very much wanted to go there to take a look. That's simple. However, the overall strength of the Sword Domain is very terrifying. Legend has it that the Sword Domain's master is only a step away from the Void God realm. His attack power even reached the Void God realm. And after so many years, I also don't know if he stepped into the Void God realm. The Dragon God reminded. Many thanks for Senior's reminder. I'll be careful. Yi Chunfeng nodded his head and said, All right then. Since you must go to the Sword Domain, then I'll tell you the coordinates of the Sword Domain. The Dragon God saw that Yi Chunfeng had made up his mind and did not persuade him anymore, telling him the coordinates of the sword domain. Little friend Yi, for my dragon race to be able to survive this calamity this time, you have contributed greatly. I'll give these 3 great treasures to you. The Dragon Emperor was not stingy and took out the 3 great treasures that the dragon race had passed down for countless years and gave them to Yi Chunfeng. This is, looking at the palm-sized stone tablet floating in front of the Dragon Emperor, a dark dragon pearl, and a set of treasured armor, Yi Chunfeng asked softly. This stone tablet is an ancestor-level Dao tablet. If little friend Yi has the time to study it, you can comprehend ancestor-level Dao intent from it. The Dragon Pearl is a dragon soul pearl that contains powerful dragon soul power. At critical moments, you can summon the dragon soul to defend against the enemy. This set of treasured armor is one of the top defensive dragon armors of the dragon race, reaching the level of a middle-grade ancestor-level weapon, the Dragon Emperor introduced in detail. Thank you, Your Majesty. Yi Chunfeng did not stand on ceremony with the Dragon Emperor and accepted the 3 great treasures that were extremely important to him. Little friend Yi, I also have a gift for you. With that said, the dragon god summoned a piece of jade marrow and a dark golden pearl. This jade marrow is an avatar that I refined for 1,000 years. It has half of Ai's strength. If you encounter danger, you can crush it and summon Ai's avatar to defend against the enemy. And this pearl is an ancestral dragon's eye. If you can refine it, you will have the power of the ancestral dragon to attack for a short period of time. Its power is comparable to a supreme-grade ancestor-level weapon. The dragon god introduced in detail. Thank you, Senior Dragon God. Compared to the 3 great treasures that the Dragon Emperor took out, the 2 treasures that the dragon god took out were even more precious, especially the ancestral dragon's eye. Its value was even more immeasurable, enough to attract peak ancestor-level powerhouses to fight for it. Senior Dragon God, Your Majesty, I also have a gift for you. In order to form a better relationship with the dragon race, Yi Chunfeng was not stingy and took out 4 Chaos Divine Fruits. This is, sensing the power of chaos contained in the 4 Chaos Divine Fruits, the Dragon God and the Dragon Emperor revealed shocked expressions and looked at Yi Chunfeng in unison. This is the Chaos Divine Fruit. It should be useful to the 2 seniors. Yi Chunfeng said softly. The Chaos Divine Fruit, this is the legendary Chaos Divine Fruit. Looking at the dark golden fruit in front of him, the Dragon Emperor revealed a look of pleasant surprise. He was only a step away from the Void God realm and needed a divine item to make the final breakthrough. The Chaos Divine Fruit was what he needed the most at the moment. Little friend Yi, the dragon race owes you too much, the Dragon Emperor said excitedly. If he could break through to the Void God realm, then the dragon race would have 2 Void Gods. At that time, the Sky race would not dare to attack them easily. After all, the Sky race would not be able to withstand the revenge of 2 Void Gods. Little friend Yi, I'm definitely friends with you. In the future, if anyone dares to disrespect you, as long as you tell me, I'll help you destroy them. Thank you, Your Majesty, Yi Chunfeng said with a smile. Under the sincere invitation of the Dragon God and the Dragon Emperor, Yi Chunfeng stayed in the dragon race for another month and tasted all the delicacies and wine of the dragon race. Because Long Xiaotian and Long Wen were married, Yi Chunfeng left Long Xiaotian in the dragon realm when he left. After bidding farewell to the dragon god and the others, Yi Chunfeng embarked on his journey to the Sword Realm. However, the dragon realm was too far away from the Sword Realm. Even if he passed through the wormhole, it would take an extremely long time. On the way to the Sword Realm, Yi Chunfeng had been hiding in the Universe Realm, comprehending the God-level Dao Steel, refining the ancestral dragon's eye and dragon armor. The incomparably precious dragon soul pearl that could constantly summon the dragon soul to fight against enemies was used as nourishment for the God-Eater brain, accelerating its transformation. After devouring the powerful dragon soul pearl, the God-Eater brain finally began a new transformation process, breeding a brand new child brain. Chapter 1864. Is this the sword domain? Yi Chunfeng passed through the spatial wormhole and looked at the sword domain that had been sealed off for hundreds of thousands of years. He felt that this place was no different from the outside world. Just as he stood in midair and surveyed his surroundings, his sharp senses suddenly sensed danger, and all the hairs on his body stood on end in an instant. The next moment, a sword light that looked like the Milky Way suddenly appeared, cleaving space into two and slashing toward him at a speed that exceeded 100 times the speed of light. Primordial Bloodline Ignition. Tao of Equipment Manipulation, Grim Reaper Scythe Slash. At this critical moment, Yi Chunfeng ignited his primordial bloodline and struck out with the Tao of Equipment Manipulation. He raised the Grim Reaper Scythe's attacking prowess to the limit and slashed out at the invincible sword light. However, this sword light was too powerful, surpassing the limits of a top-grade ancestral artifact. The Grim Reaper Scythe only managed to block for 3 breaths of time before it was sent flying by this invincible sword light. Chaos Divine Wood. Seeing this sword light slash onto Yi Chunfeng's body and cleave him into two, he summoned his final trump card and controlled the Chaos Divine Wood to block in front of him, blocking the invincible sword light's attack. PFFF. 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 Although the invincible sword light was blocked by the Chaos Divine Wood, the dense sword silks that were produced when the sword light shattered still riddled Yi Chunfeng's body with holes, causing him to bleed profusely. This is too terrifying. I didn't expect the sword domain to have such a terrifying restriction. Trespassers will be attacked. Although Yi Chunfeng had used the Grim Reaper Scythe and the Chaos Divine Wood to block this invincible sword light that had suddenly appeared, he was still severely injured. A few of the sword silks had even injured his meridians. He quickly retracted his aura and flew into the distance at an extremely fast speed. He hid in an endless mountain range to recuperate from his injuries. Yi Chunfeng still had lingering fears as he recuperated from his injuries. When evening came, the sound of beast footsteps entered his ears. Following the source of the sound, he saw 3 massive demonic beasts that looked like Chilants pulling a luxurious white jade carriage forward slowly. Around the white jade carriage, men in shiny armor with sharp swords hanging from their backs rode on draconic horses to protect the white jade carriage. They were on guard against any danger that might appear at any time. Yi Chunfeng closed his eyes again as he watched the convoy leave. Using the spiritual pearl of life, he quickly healed his body that had been injured by the invincible sword radiance. Deep into the night, Yi Chunfeng let out a breath of turbid air and woke up from his recuperation. He controlled the Chaos Divine Wood to suppress his strength to the level of a 6-star Tao Emperor and flew towards the forest in the distance. Yes, bonfire. As he flew, Yi Chunfeng saw bonfires appear in front of him. When he inadvertently approached, the guards guarding the bonfires sensed his aura and immediately became alert. They released their sharp auras and locked onto him. Everyone, please don't misunderstand. I don't mean any harm. I just got lost in the mountains and came to take a look when I saw the bonfire, Yi Chunfeng said as he slowly walked over, stepping on a thick layer of leaves and broken branches. Is that so? Numerous guards with sharp swords in their hands gazed vigilantly at Yi Chunfeng, who looked unfamiliar. However, when they sensed that Yi Chunfeng's aura wasn't strong and was only at the 6-star Tao Emperor realm, the tensed expressions on their faces eased up slightly. Let him come over. Meanwhile, a gentle voice resounded. A beautiful woman in a white dress spoke. Her jet-black hair was tied up high, and even though there were wrinkles at the corners of her eyes, she still retained her charm. She was roasting a fat deer that was flowing with oil. Yes, madam. Once the beautiful woman gave the order, the guards in charge of her safety put away their swords, and then they sized Yi Chunfeng up before allowing her to walk over to the bonfire. Thank you. Yi Chunfeng arrived by the bonfire and smiled to the beautiful woman as he thanked her in a light voice. On the other hand, there were two beautiful women who wore multicolored dresses, had snow-white skin, and possessed appearances that were on par with each other. The other was an old man with a white beard, white hair, and a youthful complexion. He was at the 6-star Tao Lord realm, and he was meditating with his eyes closed. From the gazes these two beautiful women shot at him, Yi Chunfeng felt that one of them was gentle and pleasant while the other was unruly and willful. Their characters were completely different. "Young brother, may I know where you're from and why you've entered the Southern Peak Mountain Range late at night? Do you know that the Southern Peak Mountain Range isn't just filled with formidable demon beasts, it's even filled with lethal poisonous insects? It's very likely that you'll lose your life if you're careless." The beautiful woman sized Yi Chunfeng up from top to bottom, and she noticed that his gaze was clear while his expression was calm. He didn't reveal any ill intent, so she spoke slowly. "To tell you the truth, I'm just an independent cultivator. I just emerged from my closed-door cultivation recently, and I intend to wander the sword domain." Yi Chunfeng made up a story casually. Pfft! When she heard Yi Chunfeng, the young woman that had an unruly expression and was eating small mouthfuls of venison laughed, while her beautiful eyes revealed a trace of ridicule. "Young brother, even though your way of thinking is very good, and your natural talent isn't bad as well, you've cultivated to the 6-star Tao Emperor realm at such a young age, but there are numerous experts in the sword domain. Once you encounter someone with ill intent, then it's very likely that you'll lose your life with your strength." The beautiful woman revealed a faint smile and said, "On the other hand, my Qin clan has been constantly recruiting young geniuses. I wonder if young brother is interested in joining my Qin clan?" The Qin clan. Yi Chunfeng revealed a trace of surprise as he never expected that the beautiful woman would actually intend to recruit him. However, he was too unfamiliar with the sword domain, and he really did need to properly understand the sword domain through some powers. So he nodded and said, "All right, since you're interested, then I'll head to the Qin clan to have a look." And Yi Chunfeng's words caused the beautiful woman to frown slightly. However, she quickly recalled that Yi Chunfeng had just come out of seclusion and was still full of youthful vigor. He still needed to learn how to conduct himself, so she didn't think too much about it. However, the unruly woman looked at Yi Chunfeng with an unkind expression. In her opinion, her mother's sincere invitation to Yi Chunfeng was a great honor for him. However, Yi Chunfeng wasn't grateful to the point of shedding tears. Instead, he revealed an indifferent expression, which made her rather annoyed. On the other hand, the gentlewoman took the initiative to cut off a piece of venison that had just been roasted and gave it to Yi Chunfeng, which gave Yi Chunfeng a good impression of her. As the night grew deeper, Yi Chunfeng, the beautiful woman, and the gentlewoman chatted casually. He found out that the beautiful woman was called Jing Yi, the gentlewoman was called Qin Rulan, and the unruly woman was called Qin Xinmei. They came from the White Sword City, and the Qin clan was the second most powerful clan in the White Sword City. They occupied a lot of resources in the White Sword City. However, from the information revealed by the beautiful woman, Yi Chunfeng felt that the Qin clan situation wasn't good. Their status seemed to be threatened by other clans. This was also the reason why Madame Jing Yi took the risk to recruit Yi Chunfeng. The night passed by quickly. On the morning of the second day, Yi Chunfeng and his group extinguished the bonfire and continued on their journey. Because the Qin clan didn't have any extra dragon horses, Madame Jing Yi wanted to observe Yi Chunfeng further. So, she let him sit in the carriage that had its own independent space. Although there were 3 outstanding beauties in the carriage, Yi Chunfeng, who was meditating with his eyes closed, didn't look at them at all. He had been meditating in silence the entire time. This made Madame Jing Yi and the white-haired old man feel even more relieved. Just as the convoy was passing through Vietnam's sharp mountain range and heading towards White Sword City along a straight line, the entire ground suddenly began to tremble. Chapter 1865. Young Master Wu, why are you stopping my Qin clan's carriage? The Qin clan's guard captain looked at a man wearing black armor riding on a dragon horse. His long black hair fluttered in the wind, and there was a clear scar at the corner of his eye. His complexion was slightly pale, but he still held his head high. He frowned slightly and asked with hostility, "Nothing much, just greeting someone I know." Wu family's eldest young master, Wu Shufeng, smiled slightly and looked at the white jade carriage. "I wonder if it's little sister Rulin or little sister Xinmei sitting on the carriage." "Captain Qin, ignore him. Let's go back to the city." Madame Jingyi's voice sounded in the carriage with disgust. "So it's Madame Jingyi in the carriage." Wu Shufeng rode on the dragon horse and intercepted the three Qilin-like demonic beasts. "Madam, I don't know if you have considered my Wu clan's proposal. I am very fond of Sister Rulin and Sister Xinmei. As long as Madam agrees to marry them to me, I promise that White Sword City will still have a place for the Qin clan." "Humph, Wu Shufeng, why don't you take a look at yourself? You want to marry us sisters? I think you should give up." Qin Xinmei clenched her small fists and said angrily, "Oh, Sister Xinmei is in the carriage." Wu Shufeng's smile became wider. "Sister Xinmei, do you not know the Qin clan's current situation? If it weren't for the fact that we are childhood friends, I wouldn't have given this opportunity to the Qin clan." "Humph, Wu Shufeng, don't think that you can control the fate of the Qin clan just because the Wu clan has the mountain-breaking sword sect. Let me tell you, the Qin clan is not scared. If you want to deal with us, the Qin clan will accompany you." Madame Jingyi snorted and said without backing down, "Sigh, I have good intentions, but you don't appreciate it. All right, I hope you won't regret it in the future." Wu Shufeng said with a mocking smile. "Are you done? If you are, then get the hell out of my way. Otherwise, don't blame I for being rude to you." At this time, the white-haired elder in the carriage suddenly opened his eyes. A powerful aura spread out from his body and pressured Wu Shufeng and the others through the carriage. He warned them coldly, "So Elder Yun is here too." Wu Shufeng's expression changed slightly when he sensed the terrifying aura emitted by the white-haired old man. He hesitated for a moment before obediently opening up a path for the Qin family's convoy to leave. "I'm so pissed off, I'm so pissed off. Who does that Wu Shufeng think he is? How dare he have ideas about me and Ruolan? I really want to skin him alive." Qin Xinmei was so angry that her teeth were itching. She puffed up her cheeks and said angrily, "Sigh, the Wu family is no longer what it used to be. Once the Wu family marries the mountain-breaking sword sect, it will change the entire structure of White Sword City. It will have a great impact on my Qin family and the Bai family." Madame Jingyi sighed softly and said worriedly, "The mountain-breaking sword sect." Yi Chunfeng opened his eyes and said, "Is this mountain-breaking sword sect very strong?" "What? Don't tell me you've never heard of the mountain-breaking sword sect." Qin Xinmei rolled her eyes at Yi Chunfeng. "That's right, I've never heard of the mountain-breaking sword sect." Yi Chunfeng nodded. "What a bumpkin." Qin Xinmei was a bit speechless as she said, "The mountain-breaking sword sect is the largest sect in the mountain-breaking prefecture. They control 23 cities and hundreds of villages. Our White Sword City is within the territory of the mountain-breaking sword sect." "How strong is the sect master of the mountain-breaking sword sect?" Yi Chunfeng ignored Qin Xinmei's disdainful gaze and continued to ask. "The mountain-breaking sword sect is very, very strong. There are many god-level experts in the sect. Legend has it that the sect master is a 6-star Dao god. He can cut a river several hundred meters wide in half with a swing of his sword." The gentle Qin Ruolan continued. "Then what are the forces in the sword domain that are more powerful than the mountain-breaking sword sect?" Yi Chunfeng asked. You, don't tell me you're a wild brat from the mountains? Why don't you know anything?" Qin Xinmei pointed at Yi Chunfeng and said with disdain, "I really don't know much about the sword domain. Can you tell me about it?" Yi Chunfeng smiled and didn't care about Qin Xinmei's gaze as he asked shamelessly. Okay, since you don't even know about the structure of the sword domain, then I'll tell you. Madame Jean Yi took a deep look at Yi Chunfeng and noticed that his expression wasn't fake. She slowly said, "The structure of the sword domain is divided into 6 levels. The first level is the Sword God Hall, and the master of the Sword God Hall is the master of the entire sword domain. The Sword God Hall has 3 palaces. They are the Qijua Sword Palace, the Gold Sword Palace, and the Sky-Devouring Sword Palace. Under the 3 great sword palaces there are 3 sects and 2 clans. The 3 sects are the Heaven-Shaking Sword Sect, the Mountain-Breaking Sword Sect, and the Hunyuan Sword Sect. The 2 clans are the Qian clan and the Tantai clan. After the 3 sects and 2 clans are the aristocratic clans like our Qin clan. After the aristocratic clans are the wealthy clans, and after the wealthy clans are the most ordinary commoners in the sword domain. The Sword God Hall. Yi Chunfeng had a feeling that if he wanted to find the ancestral sword crystal, he could only go to the Sword God Hall. Madam, how can I join the Sword God Hall? Yi Chunfeng thought for a moment and asked. As soon as Yi Chunfeng finished speaking, Qin Xinmei laughed out loud. Yi Chunfeng, is there something wrong with your head? You really dare to think about joining the Sword God Hall? Qin Xinmei sneered without holding back. You should know that the Sword God Hall is filled with geniuses among geniuses. Even the top geniuses of the mountain-breaking sword sect might not be qualified to join. You, a wild brat, want to join? Mayor, don't talk like that. Looking at the thoughtful Yi Chunfeng, the gentle Qin Rulan said, Chengfeng's talent is not bad. He might have a chance to join the Sword God Hall in the future. Sister, don't comfort him. If he can join the Sword God Hall, the sun will rise from the west. Qin Xinmei said with contempt. She didn't put Yi Chunfeng in her eyes at all. If he can't join the Sword God Hall, then just snatch it. Although the Dragon God had told him that the Sword God was very powerful, Yi Chunfeng believed that as long as the Sword God had not broken through to the empty God realm, he still had a chance to snatch the ancestral sword crystal from the Sword God Hall. Qingfeng, don't take Mayor's words to heart. As long as you work hard, you might be able to stand out one day. Looking at Yi Chunfeng, who had fallen silent, Madame Jing Yi thought that he had suffered a blow. She glared at Qin Xinmei, who spoke without thinking, and comforted him softly. However, she didn't know that Yi Chunfeng didn't care. Instead, he was thinking about how to rob the Sword God Hall. If they knew about Yi Chunfeng's thoughts, they would be scared to death. Thank you, madam, Yi Chunfeng said with a smile. He looked calm and continued to chat with Madame Jing Yi to understand the sword realm further. Chapter 1866. Madam, I want to take a stroll around White Sword City before going to the Qin clan. Yi Chunfeng was interested in the local customs of the sword domain. He glanced at Madame Jing Yi, who was elegantly drinking tea, and slowly said, Okay. Madame Jing Yi nodded and reminded, Qingfeng, White Sword City has not been peaceful recently because of the Wu clan. You should be careful. Mother, how about I accompany Qingfeng? I haven't walked around White Sword City for a long time. The pure and beautiful Qin Rulan looked at Yi Chunfeng, who gave her a comfortable feeling, and suddenly said, Sister, are you all right? What's there to walk around with a wild brat? Qin Xinmei opened her eyes wide, looking at Qin Rulan's beautiful face, and asked puzzledly. It was just a spur-of-the-moment thing. Don't think too much. Feeling the gazes of Madame Jingyi and the others, the gentle and lovely Qin Rulan's delicate face blushed as she spoke. Okay, then let's go. Yi Chunfeng didn't think too much and brought Qin Rulan out of the white jade carriage. They came to the bustling street and strolled around. Although she had just met Yi Chunfeng, Qin Rulan liked the aura on Yi Chunfeng's body. She felt very secure and safe beside him, as if she wouldn't be afraid even if the sky fell down. After leaving Madame Jing Yi, Qin Rulan became very talkative. She kept telling Yi Chunfeng about the history and interesting stories of White Sword City. Yi Chunfeng listened while releasing his soul power to collect a lot of useful information to further understand the sword domain. As they walked, the two of them arrived outside a restaurant that was built in an antique style. Waves of fragrance wafted through the air. Celestial Immortal Residence. Yi Chunfeng looked at the signboard and suggested, "Ruolin, you must be tired. Why don't we rest and eat something in the Celestial Immortal Residence?" "Okay, I like the crispy and sesame cake of the Celestial Immortal Residence. Let's go, I'll take you to try it." As she spoke, Qin Ruolin, who was in a good mood, led Yi Chunfeng into the Celestial Immortal Residence, which had a very good business. She found a seat by the window and sat down. She ordered a few of the famous snacks of the Celestial Immortal Residence and an expensive pot of spirit tea. "Qingfeng, are you really from the mountains?" Qin Ruolin asked as she tasted the delicious snacks. Qin Ruolin was interested in Yi Chunfeng. "I guess." Yi Chunfeng smiled faintly as he took a sip of the spirit tea that tasted pretty good. "Hey, you shouldn't have come out," Qin Ruolin said cutely as she licked the crumbs of snacks on her fingers. "Why?" Yi Chunfeng put down the wooden teacup and looked at Qin Ruolin's beautiful face. "At least in the mountains, there is no deception and there are no worries. You can live a carefree life. Outside, you have to experience a lot and you might be killed." Qin Ruolin sighed softly as she thought of the Qin family's situation. Yi Chunfeng guessed Qin Ruolin's state of mind and poured himself a cup of spirit tea. "Ruolin, are you worried about the Qin family?" "Yes, the current situation is very unfavorable for my Qin family. Sometimes, I don't dare to think about my Qin family's future." Qin Ruolin nodded and said faintly, "Don't worry, the Qin family's crisis will definitely pass." Although Yi Chunfeng didn't want to meddle in other people's business, he was interested in the mountain-breaking sword sect. He wanted to get in touch with the mountain-breaking sword sect through the dispute between the Qin family and the Wu family, and then get in touch with the sword god Hall step by step. As Yi Chunfeng and Qin Ruolin chatted in silence, Yi Chunfeng's powerful soul power faintly sensed a terrifying aura appear in the Celestial Immortal Residence. Peak Ancestor Realm Almighty Expert. After the confirmation of the God-Eater brain, Yi Chunfeng was shocked to discover that a Peak Ancestor Realm Almighty Expert that was rarely seen in the Void God realm had actually appeared in the Celestial Immortal Residence. He couldn't help but look at the wooden stairs. At this moment, a white-haired old man dressed in a gray robe appeared in front of him. His eyes were deep and powerful, and he was in high spirits. Although the gray-robed old man had deliberately concealed his strength, Yi Chunfeng still felt a strong sense of danger from his body the moment he saw him. Why would a Peak Ancestor Realm Almighty Expert appear in White Sword City? One had to know that a Peak Ancestor Realm Almighty Expert was in existence at the peak of the Void God realm. If the Void God did not appear, a Peak Ancestor Realm Almighty Expert was enough to look down on the entire Void God realm. However, a Peak Ancestor Realm Almighty Expert had appeared in a small White Sword City. This caused Yi Chunfeng to be rather surprised. Just as Yi Chunfeng was feeling rather surprised, the gray-robed old man slightly raised his head, and his gaze collided with Yi Chunfeng's. In the next moment, Yi Chunfeng clearly felt that the gray-robed old man's deep and powerful eyes shot out a boundless light. Rays of light that seemed to have substance shot out like 10,000 arrows, directly piercing into his eyes, causing his soul to tremble. But very quickly, the sharp light that shot out from the gray-robed old man's eyes disappeared. He walked over slowly with even steps, and directly sat opposite Yi Chunfeng. "Senior, you?" Looking at the uninvited gray-robed old man, Qin Ruolin was rather surprised and asked softly, "Little girl, don't mind me. I just feel that this friend of yours is very similar to an old friend of ours." The gray-robed old man revealed a trace of a kind smile, and sized up Yi Chunfeng from a close distance. "Little friend, if I'm not wrong, your surname is Yi, right?" Yes, as soon as the gray-robed old man finished speaking, a monstrous wave surged in Yi Qinfeng's heart, and the muscles at the corner of his eyes twitched unconsciously. He never expected that this peak ancestor realm mighty figure in front of him would actually say his surname. Who exactly is he? Yi Qinfeng carefully sized up the gray-robed old man and realized that he had indeed never seen him before. He had a lot of guesses about his identity, and he was even more vigilant in his heart. Senior, you know Yi Qinfeng? Could it be that you're also from the mountains? Qin Rulan asked in surprise. Mountains? The gray-robed old man revealed a faint smile and said, No, I'm not from the mountains. This is the first time I've met this little friend Yi. The first time you've met him? Then how do you know his surname? Qin Rulan asked in confusion. Intuition, it's just an intuition. The gray-robed old man said mysteriously, Little friend Yi, don't be nervous. I have no ill intentions towards you. I just want to say a few words to you. I know. With senior strength, why would you have ill intentions towards a nobody like me? Yi Qinfeng tried his best to calm himself down, wanting to catch a trace of clues through the conversation and deduce the old man's identity from there. Haha, you're not a nobody. Old friends often talk about you. The gray-robed old man laughed loudly and said, Actually, I've long wanted to see you. It's just that I didn't expect that we would meet in such a place. See me? Yi Qinfeng's brows furrowed slightly and said, Senior, who the hell are you? Who's the old friend you're talking about? Who do you think the old friend I'm talking about is? The gray-robed old man said, deliberately mystifying things. Several thoughts flashed through Yi Qinfeng's mind. Chapter 1867. Rulan, I didn't expect to see you here. What a coincidence. The dandy man, who looked similar to Wu Shufeng, walked over slowly and looked at Qin Rulan with a burning gaze. He was wearing a gorgeous robe and was waving a folding fan with a picture of a beautiful woman on it. Qin Rulan hated the dandy man's gaze and said coldly, I don't think we're fated. I just feel a little unlucky to have met you. You've ruined my mood. Haha, interesting, really interesting. Qin Rulan, today is different from the past. Your Qin clan is about to be defeated. I advise you to be smart and seize the opportunity while you still have some beauty. Otherwise, you will cry in the future. The good-for-nothing man was not angry. Instead, he spoke arrogantly. Wu Shushan, get away from me. I'd rather marry a chicken or a dog than marry into your Wu family. Qin Rulan said angrily with a red face. Oh, you're angry. But I find that you're even prettier when you're angry. Wu Shushan said frivolously, Qin Rulan, I've reserved you. I'll get you in bed sooner or later. You! Qin Rulan was so angry that her face turned red and her body trembled. Where did these dogs come from? How dare you ruin Ai's mood? You're really courting death. Catching the killing intent in Yi Qinfeng's eyes, the old man in gray spoke. As soon as he finished speaking, a terrifying aura was emitted from his body. It was like an invisible mountain that pressed down on Wu Shushan and the other two. It bent their legs and forced them to kneel on the ground. Damn it, old man. How dare you humiliate me? Do you believe that I'll make sure you won't see the sun tomorrow? As the second young master of the Wu family, Wu Shushan had never been humiliated like this. He struggled with all his might and cursed loudly. Slap. The crisp sound of a slap rang out. The old man in gray used his mind, and the violently fluctuating air slapped his face like a slap. It shattered his facial bones and knocked out several teeth. A large amount of blood flowed out uncontrollably. He was in so much pain that he teared up. Just as he was about to continue cursing, the air turned into a palm and slapped him hard on the left side of his face, causing him to wail in pain. Do you dare to continue scolding? The gray-robed old man looked at Wu Shushan, whose face had caved in and blood was gushing out of his mouth. At this moment, Wu Shushan couldn't curse even if he wanted to. His cheeks were smashed and he couldn't make a sound. Since you're not cursing anymore, then die. As he spoke, the gray-robed old man tapped out with his finger. Under Wu Shushan's widening gaze, the old man tapped on his forehead, shattering his head and killing him. Senior Yu, witnessing the scene before her, Qin Ruo's face turned pale. Although she hated Wu Shushan and wanted him dead, she knew the consequences of Wu Shushan's death. Senior, please spare my life. Wu Shushan's 2 followers were scared out of their wits. They kept kowtowing and apologizing, begging the gray-robed old man to spare their lives. However, in the eyes of a peak ancestor realm expert, the 2 of them were just ant-like existences. The gray-robed old man lightly waved his arm and shattered their bodies, killing them. All right, now it's quiet. Let's continue chatting. After killing Wu Shushan and the other 2 with a wave of his hand, the gray-robed old man's expression was calm, and Yi Chunfeng's expression didn't change much. However, Qin Rulin was scared silly. She grabbed Yi Chunfeng's arm tightly and said, "Qingfeng, let's leave this place quickly. If the Wu clan suspects us, it will be troublesome." In the end, under Qin Rulin's tugging, Yi Chunfeng had no choice but to leave the chaotic celestial immortal residence, causing him to not have the chance to ask about the gray-robed old man's identity. However, through his series of analysis and the way the gray-robed old man looked at him, Yi Chunfeng had a guess about his identity. Moreover, Yi Chunfeng had a feeling that he would meet the gray-robed old man again. "Rulin, what's wrong with you? Why are you so flustered?" When Qin Rulin pulled Yi Chunfeng back to the Qin clan, she just happened to bump into the graceful and luxurious Madame Jing Yi. Seeing Qin Rulin's flustered appearance, Madame Jing Yi frowned slightly and said, "Mother, something big has happened. Wu Shushan is dead." Qin Rulin said in shock. What? What happened?" Madame Jing Yi's expression changed slightly as she felt the seriousness of the situation and asked. "It's like this." Qin Rulin took a deep breath and tried to calm herself down. She told her mother what had just happened. "Qingfeng, do you know the murderer?" After hearing Qin Rulin's story, Madame Jing Yi cast her gaze towards Yi Chunfeng and asked. "No, this is the first time I met him." Yi Chunfeng shook his head and said. But. Madame Jing Yi increasingly felt the seriousness of this matter. If the Wu clan could not find the murderer, it was very likely that they would vent their anger on the Qin clan. Originally, the Qin clan was not afraid of the Wu clan. However, now that the Wu clan had the backing of the mountain-breaking sword sect, the Qin clan could not afford to offend them. "You 2 go to the main hall and wait for me. I'll tell your father about this and see if there's any way to get out of this." After saying that, Madame Jing Yi hurried to the backyard. "Sai, what should we do? What should we do?" Qin Rulin's heart was in a mess. She never thought that the gray-robed old man would kill Wu Shushan in front of them. "Don't worry, the Qin clan will be fine." Looking at Qin Rulin, who was in a daze and had beads of sweat on her forehead, Yi Chunfeng smiled and said softly, "Qingfeng, you still don't know the consequences of this matter." Qin Rulin spoke with slight blame. "Even though Wu Shushan is ignorant and incompetent, he's the second young master of the Wu clan after all. Moreover, the Wu clan has the backing of the mountain-breaking sword sect and wants to establish its might. They'll definitely use this matter to make an issue out of it and deal with our Qin clan. Trust me, the Qin clan will be fine." Yi Chunfeng didn't explain too much. "Sai, I hope so." Qin Rulin sighed lightly and prayed incessantly in her heart. Yi Chunfeng and Qin Rulin had just arrived at the main hall when Madame Jing Yi, Qin Xinmei, Elder Yun, and a man in a white robe arrived. He had some gray hair on his temples and was walking in a majestic manner. This white-robed man was the patriarch of the Qin clan, the peak 6-star Daolord, Qinda. "Yi Chunfeng, tell me, are you related to that gray-robed old man?" Qinda asked loudly as he glared at the calm Yi Chunfeng, who was sitting on the wooden armchair with his tiger-like eyes. "We didn't know each other when we met for the first time." Yi Chunfeng raised his head slightly and met Qinda's questioning gaze as he spoke. Yi Chunfeng, you have to realize that this matter is very serious, extremely serious. If you know that gray-robed old man and know where to find him, then the danger my Qin clan faces will be resolved. But if we're unable to find the culprit, then my Qin clan will have to bear the blame. Qin De spoke solemnly. I know, but I really don't know him, and I don't know where to find him. Yi Chunfeng shrugged. Yi Chunfeng, my Qin clan is really going to be destroyed because of you. You're really a jinx. Qin Xinmei spoke without thinking. Xinmei, if Yi Chunfeng doesn't know that gray-robed old man, then this matter really can't be blamed on Chunfeng. The important matter at hand is to find the culprit, and there's still a chance to turn the situation around. Madame Jing Yi glared at the unruly and willful Qin Xinmei as she spoke. But we haven't even met that person, so how are we supposed to find him? Qin Xinmei puckered her lips as she spoke. We have to find him even if we can't. At the very least, we have to put on an act for the Wu clan. Qin De glanced deeply at Yi Chunfeng, and he hesitated on whether he should hand Yi Chunfeng over. Don't worry, I think this matter isn't as serious as all of you think. Yi Chunfeng noticed their expressions and roughly guessed their thoughts. However, he didn't care. As for the Wu clan, he didn't take it seriously at all. Yi Chunfeng, you'll stay in my Qin clan for now. You're not allowed to leave without my orders. Qin De pondered deeply for a moment before he ordered in an irresistible manner. All right. Chapter 1868. The night fog came and covered the stars in the sky. The entire White Sword City was shrouded in the dark night. Have you found out? Who is the murderer of Shan? Wu Shang, the head of the Wu family, was wearing a dark blue robe. His eyes were sunken into his cheeks, and he gave off a ferocious vibe. No, that person is very unfamiliar. We asked many people, but none of them knew him. A guard of the Wu family in a black robe said fearfully, however, some people said that the second miss of the Qin family, Qin Rulan, was present at the scene. The murderer of the second young master was sitting at the same table as them. We suspect that the murderer might be hiding in the Qin family. Qin Rulan, the Qin family. Wu Shang stared with his blood-red eyes. His murderous aura surged uncontrollably from his body. Let's go. Gather the Wu family iron guards and follow me to the Qin family. We will find the murderer even if we have to dig 3 feet into the ground. Wu Shang said with a murderous aura. Head of the Wu family, you are so angry. Suddenly, a strange voice sounded in the stifling atmosphere of the Wu family main hall. Who is it? Wu Shang and the others were startled and immediately became alert. Don't be nervous. I'm just here to see you. An illusory shadow suddenly appeared in the Wu family main hall. It was faster than lightning. Wu Shang's pupils shrank rapidly as if he was facing a great enemy. Are you the murderer of my son? Wu Shang asked in a low voice as he looked at the man who was covered in a loose black robe. His face could not be seen clearly. No, I didn't kill your son. I'm just here to tell you one thing. Don't touch the Qin family. The black-robed man said with a hoarse voice. Damn it, who do you think you are? If you say we won't touch the Qin family, we won't touch them. A hot-tempered Wu family expert roared angrily. However, as soon as he finished speaking, an extremely sharp ray of sword light shot out from the black-robed man's body. With an ear-piercing sound, it cut the roaring Wu clan expert in half, killing him on the spot. Good, good, good. The Qin family is really bold. After killing my son, you dare to find someone to threaten us. Do you really think that the Wu family is easy to bully? Seeing the black-robed man kill in front of everyone, Wu Shang was so angry that his face turned ashen. He immediately activated the clan protecting array formation, which enveloped the entire Wu family estate and formed a powerful offensive array formation in the air above the main hall. Today I'll kill you first, then wipe out the Qin family. I'll let the people of White Sword City know the consequences of going against my Wu family. Saying this, Wu Shang activated the power of the offensive formation disc, which transformed into powerful runes that flew forward like flying swords. You want to hurt me with this level of attack? Although the formation patterns formed by the offensive array disc were enough to threaten the average divine rank expert, they were unable to harm the black-robed man. The offensive formation patterns were blocked by a powerful force, and when they were about to touch the black-robed man's body, they all exploded. What? Wu Shang and the others widened their eyes in disbelief as they watched the river-like offensive array patterns explode one after another. In the next moment, the black-robed man lightly pointed with a finger. He extended a finger and the space was directly ripped apart by the sharp light. The terrifying finger stabbed into the rapidly spinning offensive formation disc, directly shattering the disc that was as tough as a low-grade Empyrean Saint artifact. Who are you? Seeing the black-robed man's strength, Wu Shang's heart trembled. It could be said that the black-robed man's battle prowess was beyond his imagination, causing him to feel extremely uneasy. Afraid? The black-robed man's body flickered, and he suddenly appeared in front of Wu Shang, who was pale with fright and desperately retreating. Die. At this critical moment, a half-meter-long dark green sword appeared in Wu Shang's hand. It was a mid-grade Transcendent Saint artifact, and it was filled with potent poison. He forcefully stabbed it at the black-robed man. Swish! Wu Shang's sword stabbed the black-robed man's chest, but before he could rejoice, the mid-grade Transcendent Saint artifact's sword suddenly shattered. This terrifying scene almost scared Wu Shang out of his wit. Gotcha! Just as Wu Shang was using the Wu family's inherited footwork to dodge with all his might, an unimaginable force violently slapped him on the shoulder, causing him to kneel on the ground. Soul search. The black-robed man pressed his right hand on the top of Wu Shang's head and began to search his soul. Let go of the family leader. Seeing that Wu Shang was in danger, the Wu family's experts all summoned their true spirit sacred treasures and attacked. However, the black-robed man's strength was too terrifying. Not only were the true spirit sacred treasures unable to hurt him, but they were also shattered by the terrifying force in his body. No, don't kill me. Seeing the true spirit sacred treasures shattering, Wu Shang was scared out of his wits. His whole body trembled as he kept begging for mercy. Don't be afraid, I won't kill you. The black-robed man unexpectedly obtained important information from Wu Shang's soul sea, so he suppressed the killing intent in his heart and did not start a massacre. Remember what I just said. The black-robed man retracted his right hand and glanced at the pale and frightened Wu Shang. He then turned and left. After leaving the chaotic Wu family, the black-robed man revealed a delicate face under the bright moonlight. He was Yi Chunfeng, who had secretly left the Qin family residence. Yi Chunfeng originally wanted to kill the Wu family leader directly to give the Wu family a warning and return Madame Jing Yi's kindness. However, when he searched Wu Shang's soul, he obtained an unexpected reward, which made him change his mind. In another year's time, the 3 sects and 2 clans would hold the Sword Palace promotion competition at the Sky Sword Mountain. The faction that could laugh at the crowd would be promoted to a Sword Palace and receive generous rewards from the Heavenly Sword Hall. The mountain-breaking sword sect's overall strength was not outstanding among the 3 sects and 2 clans, so they urgently needed to recruit talents and gather resources. This was also the reason why they had a marriage alliance with the Wu family. If I make good use of this opportunity, I might be able to come into contact with the Heavenly Sword Hall. Yi Chunfeng muttered to himself. He decided to stay in White Sword City for a while longer. Yi Chunfeng secretly returned to the quiet Qin family residence. He laid down a restriction in his room and eliminated all distracting thoughts. He consumed a chaos divine fruit and began to cultivate. The Qin family members viewed him as a jink. Apart from Qin Rulan, no one was willing to come into contact with him. Yi Chunfeng just happened to be happy with the peace and quiet. Just as the Qin family was in a state of anxiety and waiting for the Wu family to take revenge, the Wu family unexpectedly did not take revenge on them. They also did not pursue the murderer with great fanfare. This made Qin De and the others even more confused. Even though the Wu family did not take revenge, Qin De and the others did not let down their guard. They were still secretly searching for the real murderer of Wu Shushan. Soon, more than 2 months passed. Just as the matter of Wu Shushan's murder was gradually forgotten, the Wu family's chief steward personally came to the Qin family residence. When Chief Steward Wu came, he did not give the Qin family an ultimatum to hand over the real murderer of Wu Shushan. Instead, he gave them an invitation. The 10th disciple of the mountain-breaking sword sect, Wan Zio, would be coming to the Wu family residence to marry the eldest daughter of the Wu family, Wu Fandai, in 10 days. The Wu family invited Qin De and the others to the Wu family residence for a banquet. Author's note: 10 chapters, 10 chapters, 10 chapters, please give me red packets. Red packets. Chapter 1869. Sigh, this invitation does not come with good intentions. Qin De sighed softly as he looked at the invitation card sent by Chief Steward Wu. He said worriedly, Brother De, you are worried that the Wu family will make a big fuss during the engagement banquet and deal with our Qin family. Madame Jing Yi, who was wearing a white embroidered nightgown, said with a frown. Recently, I have been thinking about why the Wu family did not take revenge on our Qin family. Now it seems that the Wu family is waiting for the mountain-breaking sword sect to come and give us a fatal blow, so that our Qin family will never be able to rise again. Qin De said with an ugly expression. Then what should we do? After hearing Qin De's analysis, Madame Jing Yi was at a loss. After thinking for a while, Qin De clenched his teeth and said, For our Qin family, I can only be the bad guy this time. Brother De, you want to hand over Yi Chenfeng. Madame Jing Yi immediately guessed Qin De's intention. Not only do I want to hand over Yi Chenfeng, but I also want to marry Xian Mei and Ruolan to Wu Shufeng. This is the only way to solve our Qin family's crisis. Qin De sighed helplessly and said helplessly, But Brother De, Wu Shufeng is a wolf in sheep's clothing. If we marry Xian Mei and Ruolan to him, our daughter's lifetime happiness will be ruined. Madame Jing Yi said in distress. What can I do? Do you think I am willing to do that? This is all because of the trouble you caused by privately recruiting Yi Chenfeng. Qin De said in exasperation, If we don't marry Xian Mei and Ruolan to Wu Shufeng, the Wu family will definitely take revenge on us. For the hundreds of people in our Qin family, I can only sacrifice Xian Mei and Ruolan's happiness. All right, I have made up my mind on this matter. You go and inform Yi Chenfeng, Xian Mei, and Ruolan. Tell them to come with us to the Wu family's engagement banquet in 10 days. Sigh. Madame Jing Yi sighed deeply and did not say anything else. Engagement. Upon hearing this news, Yi Chenfeng revealed a faint smile and said, Don't worry, madam. I will follow you to the Wu clan in 10 days. Qingfeng, I know this matter is not your fault. If you have the ability, then leave. Madame Jing Yi looked at Yi Chenfeng's delicate face, lightly bit her red lips, and softly said, Thank you, madam. But don't worry, nothing will happen to us on this trip to the Wu family. Yi Chenfeng didn't expect that Madame Jing Yi would still care about him at this time. He smiled and promised softly. Time passed quickly, and soon 10 days had passed. Early in the morning, Qin De sent someone to summon Yi Chenfeng to the main hall. He saw the red-eyed Qin Ruolan and her sister, as well as Qin De and Madame Jingyi, whose faces were as gloomy as water. Let's go to the Wu family estate. Qin De ordered Elder Yun to leave the Qin clan estate with generous gifts, and then they rode a carriage to the Wu clan estate. On the way to the Wu clan estate, Yi Chenfeng noticed that Elder Yun, who was a 6-star Dao Lord, had been constantly sitting close to him, and he guessed that Qin De was probably afraid that he would flee, so he sent Elder Yun to watch over him. The Qin clan was enveloped in gloom, but the Wu clan was filled with happiness. The Wu clan's patriarch, Wu Shang, who'd been terrified by Yi Chenfeng a while ago, had recovered his arrogance, and he commanded the members of the Wu clan to decorate the entire Wu clan estate. Red silk that was like dragons hung on the walls and large red lanterns. Along with the passage of time, guests ceaselessly came to offer their congratulations, and the entire Wu clan became bustling. Because they found out that the Wu clan had obtained the support of the Mountain Breaker Sword sect, all the other powers had brought generous gifts and even humbled themselves, causing Wu Shang's vanity to be greatly satisfied. The Bai clan's patriarch, Bai Yihai, has brought 11 members of the Bai clan to offer his congratulations. Suddenly, a loud voice resounded from outside the Wu clan's entrance. The number 1 clan in White Sword City, the patriarch of the Bai clan, Bai Yihai, had personally led the members of the Bai clan to the Wu clan to offer their congratulations. On the other hand, Bai Yihai's arrival caused all the clans in White Sword City to sense that something unusual was going on, and even someone as formidable as the Bai clan had no choice but to admit defeat when facing the Mountain Breaker Sword sect. The number 1 clan in White Sword City might have a change of master in the near future. Brother Bai, I never expected that the engagement of a junior would actually alarm you. It's truly an honor for my Wu clan. Wu Shang strode over to the number 1 figure in White Sword City, Bai Yihai, and greeted him. Brother Wu, there's no need to be courteous. Fan Dai is my favorite junior, so I naturally have to attend her engagement. Bai Yihai, who wore a white robe, revealed a faint smile and said, Right, Brother Wu, have the seniors of the Mountain Breaker Sword sect arrived? Grand Elder Hua, they're still on the way, and they should be here soon, said Wu Shang with a smile on his face. I never expected that even Grand Elder Hua would be here. Brother Wu, you're really honored. Bai Yihai was rather surprised, and the last trace of hope in his heart had been destroyed. The Qin clan's patriarch, Qin De, has come with his 5 wives to offer his congratulations. Not long after Bai Yihai's arrival, Qin De's group arrived at the bustling Wu clan mansion. The Qin clan's people are here. This is going to be a good show. Yes, the Qin clan and the Wu clan have always been on bad terms. Moreover, there are rumors that the Qin clan had something to do with the death of the Wu clan's second young master, Wu Shushan. With the Wu clan's character, they will definitely take revenge. Sigh, poor Qin clan. I wonder if they will still have a seat in White Sword City in the future. Looking at Qin De and the others who had braced themselves to come, many people smelled something unusual and began to whisper secretly. Congratulations, Brother Wu. Looking at Wu Shang, who was standing in the mansion with his hands behind his back and looking at him coldly, Qin De fiercely gritted his teeth and quickly walked forward, forcing a smile on his face. Oh, so it's the patriarch of the Qin clan. I thought you wouldn't come. Wu Shang looked at Qin De with a faint smile and deliberately scolded him. How would I dare not come when your daughter is engaged with the proud clan's young master? Qin De endured the humiliation in his heart and said, And I'm here today to add to the happy occasion with Brother Wu. What do you mean? Wu Shang sneered and said, I want to marry my 2 daughters to young Master Wu. What do you think, Brother Wu? Qin De took a deep breath and said. Hearing Qin De's words, many people showed disdain. They disdained Qin De for sacrificing his daughter's happiness in order to protect the Qin clan. Father, Qin Rulan, whose eyes were red, bit her lips and said. Qin Xinmei, who was unruly and willful, clenched her fists and let her nails dig into her flesh. Yi Chenfeng stood to the side and watched everything in silence, waiting for the Mountain Breaking Sword sect to arrive. It seems that your daughters are not willing, Wu Shang said coldly as he looked at the humiliated Qin Rulan and her sister, who were very resistant. Of course not. Qin De glared at Qin Rulan and her sister and said, Rulan, Xinmei and Shufeng are childhood sweethearts. If they can get married, our 2 families will become close friends from then on. Patriarch Qin, I appreciate your kindness, but with the Wu clan's status today, they are no longer worthy of me. But if they are willing, I can let them be my concubines. Wu Shufeng, who was wearing a luxurious robe and had a proud smile on his face, slowly walked over. He glanced at the beautiful faces of the sisters and said arrogantly, Yu Qin Xinmei was so angry that her body trembled. She didn't expect Wu Shufeng to be so ruthless and humiliate her in front of so many people. The sisters were so ashamed that they couldn't show their faces. Qin De also showed a trace of anger. He was hesitating whether to fight the Wu clan to the end. Suddenly, a loud voice broke the stalemate.